the fires of a culture that praises the Through the fires of a culture that praises the unrighteous and celebrates mediocrity. It's time for a new age, when power to tell stories of the future will be in the hands of the people. Rise up! Become the culture! Hail the Iron Age! Woo! Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, the Ultimate Kahuna, and today we will be discussing Berserk, Deluxe Volume 6. Today I am joined by many and all. We have Billy Bobsack, the Lord Otter, Readout Productions, Stormcrow, and a man from Canada itself. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Heyo, how's everybody doing?
Hello.
It's Berserking time. That's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm doing, boy. Boy, we're reading Berserk, boy.
Read out. You need to change your profile pic to Mozgus if you're gonna have that.
Yeah. Oh, bro. Speaking of Berserk, I like the Angel Wings. Very, very on topic. Also, Frederick, I heard a rumor you started reading it today. Is that true?
Pretty much. Like I had about 10% done previously. I figured I was going to read it slowly this week, but things got in the way. So I went to the coffee shop today, and then a friend texted me, "Hey, are you at the coffee shop?" I was like, "Yeah." And then he came over and started talking to me. So my whole fucking 2 hours at the coffee shop, I had a conversation.
Planned reading time, yeah.
So then I went to the restaurant. There's a nice Japanese restaurant Toraya right next to where I live, and it was this beautiful Japanese waitress. I won't get into it, but
no. Do get into it. Tell me more.
They were so beautiful. They're like trilingual. Like she speaks Japanese.
I was going to say, what does that have to do with their beauty? They speak like 3 languages, dude. Ugly as a horse, but holy fuck.
It was a sight to behold. I mean, either that or it was the sake I was drinking because, I was feeling good. And so I read a little bit.
Helps.
I was reading a little bit at the restaurant, and then I went back to the coffee shop, read a little bit, and then I was pounding through the pages here right before the show, and I just finished 1 minute ago. It's all fresh in my head.
I don't know, man. You're drinking Japanese liquor and flirting with Japanese girls. I think you're living better than we are. Anyway, hey guys, let's say welcome to the chat. We got a couple of dirty double dippers. We got Timo Burnham. His second book launch just happened, and he's hit 100 in the top 100 in his category, man.
Hey,
Hell yeah,
Timo.
brother. That's fantastic, man.
Congratulations.
Mr. Everly Music. Bat sauce. Beep, beep.
Hey, no, hold on. That motherfucker's watching the Star Shadow stream. Evelyn, what's he doing here?
he knows a lot of people, man. I don't know, like it's mostly just for my own mental health. Every time every time he doesn't show up, I always go. Oh, anyway, so today we'll be discussing Berserk Deluxe Volume 6. And I'm only giving you a little bit of crap, Frederick. I started reading it last night. I had that grand plan like you to start reading it throughout the week, and it just didn't work out, man.
Right.
Stonewall Magus. Holy crap.
Yeah,
I'll
so
read
we're
out-
picking right. Yeah, we're picking right up from Deluxe Volume 5, which is the first part of Lost Children, where Guts decides to start burning the fucking cocoon grounds of Rosine's, where she's kidnapping children and turning them into pseudo-apostles.
Yeah, it really just drops you right in the shit at the beginning of this one, doesn't it?
Yep.
Like we're right in the middle.
We're show up and start shouting, "Let's rock!" and just blow this place to the ground.
Well, like the very first thing you see is the Knights of the Holy Chain BDSM order, whatever they're called, walking through, seeing the decimated corpses of the children, because that's
no, it's not the children. It's not the children. They're walking through the. So after Guts in the previously, before he gets to the Rosine part fighting, he fights the pseudo apostles of the adults that Rosine has captured and turned.
Oh, the adult. Okay, I forgot. I messed that up. Then
and once the pseudo apostles die, they revert back to their human forms. So they were all like insect creatures. So now they're just walking through, and they're like, they looking at the corpses and stuff, and they're like, shit, this looks like cannon fire. Or like all the wounds are like bladed weapons, but it's like one weapon. So like it is one fucking dude who just massacred all these
If
people.
you would like an educational visual of what the Knights of the Holy Cross show up to, just go to the Library of Congress, type in Sharpsburg, Maryland, September 17th, 1862, and you'll have some lovely,
you mean the Knights of the Holy
grotesque
Chain?
results. Knights of the Holy Chain.
The Holy Chain
I don't
Knights.
I gotta use my voices very, very carefully. Gotta use my words carefully because my voice is not much.
Can you explain that in detail? I want 1,000-word essay.
You get 1,000 face plants, not 1,000.
Read out. Have you been drinking sake as well?
No, I'm drinking Coors Banquet.
Oh, gay. I'm kidding. No, it's just cheap. Anyway. And then we have Guts over here using the largest fly swatter ever made. Just going for it, man. He's like,
Well, you have the best part, and you're fixing to bring it up. Rosine wants all her little apostles to swarm him and start eating him slowly. So Guts decides, oh yeah, I'm gonna jump in fucking flames.
Isn't that the creepiest order you've ever heard a villain give to their like army of whatevers? Eat him slowly. It's like, jeez, man. It's like,
I don't know. That's nothing compared to what they were doing earlier in the last deluxe. Volume.
Yeah. We already saw their brutality. I'm also going to say Rosine is every full body drawing of her is pretty sus. Not something I'm going to show here on YouTube.
We call her the jailbait character for a reason.
Well, I mean, she is jailbait. She's like 16 years old at max.
Well, okay, remember Japan is fucked up in the head, so she's legal technically. Gotta be culturally diverse, guys.
Right, but I don't really care about
how
that.
she's drawn.
Yeah, she she would be 16, but she's drawn to look even younger than that. Almost like once she became an apostle, like everything else kind of stopped. Like that was where the growth kind of stopped.
Here's the thing with the apostles, and that's why I actually love her design, because the apostles, the God Hand, and all of them are supposed to give you your dream, make your dream come true. And of course, they're not really making your dream come true. It's a corrupted, fucking demented perversion of your dream. Rosine wanted to be an elf, so they made her a quote unquote elf. Not really. They made her into like a fucking moth bee thing.
I'm trying to show this without showing the entire book.
Mothra.
Also, we have Guts jumping through the fire, looking like a total boss. I love that.
Well, hold up. Get to the scene where when he's getting swarmed, he jumps into the flames and then stabs the fucking cocoon above him, and then the guts and
Puts
liquid
himself out.
spills onto him,
Yeah.
and he's holding it in his mouth.
Yeah, there's all that.
And then
I'll say that out of all the apostles, like Rosine is one of my favorites, actually. Both her like normal form and her advanced form, so to say.
Yeah, well, her fucking. I was telling Frederick this. I was like, I'm ready for you to see her true apostle form, which she's kind of like her head and body, upper torsos, and like a little. I don't know, looks like a vagina, to be honest.
Yeah, her moth body kind of looks like a vehicle. It becomes like so large.
She turns into a jet, man. She breaks the sound barrier.
Yeah, Guts is the only reason Guts is able to survive in this fight, by the way, is because at first when Rosine was going to attack him, he was knocking down the tree stuff and she couldn't fly as fast. He managed to knock off one of her antennas.
Yeah,
which made it where she couldn't fly as fast as she could with as much accuracy anymore.
I think part of what breaks up this fight, like from so many other physical engagements, Guts finds himself a part of, is
it's also a lot of aerial as well.
That too, and
we haven't really seen anything like that in the series.
Like the flames add another dimension. The Rosine's friend Jill reacting to the whole thing.
And then you get her backstory.
She's mentally breaking down during this shit.
Oh,
Jill.
yeah, no, for sure.
Well, she's kind of having a whole cocoon just splash over her, with
Guts actually saved her
child in it.
So
he also was going to let her just burn at some point, but
so keep in mind this is Black Swordsman Guts, so he will fucking do deceptive shit to get to be able to kill his enemy. So he ends up like having to fight when he's fighting Rosine. If I remember, I forgot how it is. When she turns into her apostle form, she's able to stab him in the fucking arm, and he uses his metal arm, his fake arm, to deflect the thing from hitting him in the head. She flies up and shit, and then she makes some innuendos and shit about them being on a date, and then that she's gonna fucking kill him, and that Jill is for her and her alone.
Yeah, not weird, deeply possessive.
She's very jealous.
Also, also the first reveal of her monster form, like the burning cocoons and tree in front of her, like the weird moth bird, almost bird-like shape of her. Dude, it's so good. It's so solid. I mean, the tits are out, so I can't show it, but you know what it looks like.
There's a lot of tits in this tome 6.
Yeah.
There's 3 characters at least. I can name 3 directly off the top of my head, where it's like their tits out are their tits are out for a good portion of the deluxe
20.
volume.
I can name 30.
Oh yeah, good point. Good point.
So I've noticed.
Okay, you have Rosine, Luca, Nina, Casca.
What are all the other prostitutes at the end of the book again? I can't remember.
And we got a whole cave full of them.
Yep.
More on that later.
To be honest, their names really don't matter. The other prostitutes, like
that's the problem with society. No.
Well, the story really only focuses on Luca and Nina.
Yeah, I mean their other ones are just kind of background. They're there.
Now I've noticed that.
Farnese.
What was
that?
Farnese gets several chapters dedicated to her.
Yes. I mean, the final chapter of this is dedicated to her.
Final pages as well, yeah.
I forgot how much of a blatant sadist she is. You can actually pinpoint each time it's like she's getting into it. Because Mura will draw it to where she's like blushing anytime that somebody is either getting named or
bad is happening.
Yeah. So, it's like you can actually pinpoint it. It's subtle, but it's there.
So it's like, are the dark spirits bringing it out of her, or are they just or they're just enhancing what's kind of already there?
It's already there. Like even whenever she's like initially torturing Guts with Cat of Nine Tails, I'm skipping.
So before all that, oh shit, I forgot to change it. That's supposed to be a surprise one. All right.
So
I
what you guys
like
are saying
little
is,
dog sword.
What you
All
guys
right.
saying
So,
is Cormy's is still best girl.
but I
What you
do
guys
love
do?
this fight. I'll be also Rosine's from the bottom part of her like tail thing does look like a penis, by the way. Just saying.
I'm
course it
very
does.
aware of that. Yes.
I'm hearing
Looks
Like
Siren.
she
Is that the
like
LPI?
her design is so good because from one angle it looks like a bee or a wasp. From another angle it looks like a butterfly or a moth, and then from another angle it looks like a duck or some sort of bird of prey. And
But
it's
I
all the
love
same
when,
design.
but I love when Guts when he does the trick and then she's about to like fly off and kill Guts in the air, and then you got that really impressive shot with the moon and their silhouette.
Yeah, that's a great.
And Guts
shot.
uses his cannon to fucking shoot her right in the stomach.
Not before though. Not before fucking letting himself get stabbed through the mouth.
Yeah, just
So
no.
That's actually after it.
That's
It's
after.
right after it.
So after they fall down, you have Guts kind of being like, "Oh fuck," is like, I've had like multiple chances to fucking kill her, and I just can't do it or whatever. Maybe it's her appearance or Jill, whatever. He's trying to think of it, so he fucking
This seems to be
bandages
out of
the-
strength as well. Like he's tired from something previous.
Well, he's tired from getting his like thrown around constantly.
Also, can we talk about how she was trying to kiss him before she noticed the cannon aimed at her freaking
No, she did
midsection?
kiss him.
She's like
She
licking
did.
his chin and shit.
she gave
She
him a
kissed
smack.
him. She didn't
She
try
kissed
to.
him, man.
It doesn't
But-
show it. It shows her about to.
But I also
when
love
you notice in the bubble,
this.
it says smack.
Well, I
That
also
means
love
that-
the scene that Guts notices Jill still running around, and he notices Rosine, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna sit back and wait until Rosine tries to save Jill from the flames."
I will
and
use
shit."
this child who my enemy loves as bait.
Yes, he's a very cold-blooded military strategist, but he is very, very good at
It
it.
works. I mean, it works. Look what happened
All-
with the counts.
Also,
Back in
all the black dog shadow analogy stuff is coming much more to the surface.
Are
in-
you able to
even in
show
this-
it on your stream? The scene where he stabs fucking Rosine through the back and then almost hits Jill
I'm
in the
gonna
face?
look. I'm gonna look. It's. Yeah, so
But then
Jill-
after that is when Rosine goes flying off, and Jill gets almost thrown in the flames, and Guts does kick the fucking cocoon to not let her get burned up.
Okay,
before
so
they
let me see. There is a way to do this. Okay. Fingers
So
don't
Guts-
move.
So Guts does still like go out of his way to save somebody in that.
Glorious.
Eh. Why does this character have to be a shirtless female? For the sake of showing images on stream, it makes it a lot more difficult.
Requires
you
some heavy
stop
cropping.
complaining. We
Not
got
me.
another upcoming arc. We got another upcoming arc that's literally nothing but Guts ramming women with their big fucking sword. Okay,
Okay, we're not-
stop complaining.
So
Dang.
yeah, we have the big ass moment there. Guts does actually save Jill because she is about to fall in flames and he kicks the cocoon, and Jill kind of breaks down. With
Oh no! This is the face of this is the face of someone who is well adjusted, having a good time.
Well, it kind of happens if like a dead child falls on you, you know.
Look at
Just
Jill,
saying.
just living in the moment.
Oh, she
No
starts
cell
laughing.
phones, no social media, just living in the moment.
Yeah, and then you have the conversation with Guts with this fucking sword and Rosine's back flying off, where she's like, "Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "Ah, you fucking assholes," you know.
I
You just don't
like.
get it.
Also, I like when we get the backstory for Rosine, and she's like, "Oh, this is perfect. I'm in the forest with where the elves are from."
Oh,
and it's like,
yeah. So it's picking up from the backstory from the last deluxe volume. So basically, Rosine, her fucking father doesn't believe that she was her daughter because her mother was raped village a long time ago, and he's like an abusive piece of shit, and his mother is also kind of just weak,
useless.
yeah.
That applies to both Jill and Rosine. Both their
Yes.
fathers are abusive pieces of shit.
And
I know.
we
Can we
find
just
out
have
last-
one good father in this entire show? Just
Yeah,
a
we
horrible
find
father.
out last deluxe volume that Jill, I mean, her parents went missing pretty quick as well, and sacrifice. No, she had egg, the behelit.
Also, what's like the father went full Will Ferrell on his pre-adult here in this panel.
Yeah. Here, so Rosine was wanting to find the elves. She finally made it to Misty Valley, and then she kept waiting and waiting, and there was nothing there. You know, getting to her lowest point because her dream got shattered. Very subtle.
Oh, and then
her father shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, her mother shows up, and then her father shows up, and her father just starts beating the shit out of her and talking shit. And then the mother does try to intervene. The father starts beating the shit out of the mother, and then she's like, "Yeah, this ain't supposed to be happening. Not here.
Not in the Misty Valley," and she kind of just breaks.
Yeah, her blood falls on the behelit, and the behelit fucking
gives her wish. Kind of.
Yeah.
Also, I do love after that because like this flashback's happening as Rosine's kind of having her final moments. She's joined by Jill. They're having a little sad, sweet conversation.
Oh no! Before that, hold up. Before that, Rosine is losing her shit with guts. Because a human is hurting an elf, and an elf isn't supposed to hurt a fucking, a human's not supposed to hurt an elf. So she manages to knock him off, and then she goes to fly into his face to sting him, and she hits him in the face, and then he turns around.
And then
with the stinger.
Bites the stinger.
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Yeah, and then he slams his the Dragon Slayer into her right side and stuff, and slices into her.
Can we
I love the page too, because she's laughing. She's like, ha ha ha, because she finally hit him and shit, and then she just slowly stops.
There's some female characters in this story that would love to get sliced by that Dragon Slayer.
Oh
yeah, we'll get to her in a bit.
He gives her a little slit, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway.
Yeah, so then Rosine.
Hold on. Let me just add something, Frederick. How long would it take you to draw Guts getting stabbed through the mouth like that?
That probably doesn't take that long.
Yeah, not long.
Not long.
So we have Rosine fall to the ground. We have Guts fall into the fucking lake, splashing.
As you do.
And then Jill and Puck find Rosine with her missing her arm back into her normal apostle.
As normal as she's gonna get. Like it's weird because her normal form is still not human.
Yeah, I'm true.
Well, unlike if you look at every other apostle, their normal form is still human adjacent, at least. And
I mean, hers
Rosine
still is. It's just
not in the same way. She could never pass as human looking like this.
Yeah, but not every apostle tries to pass as human.
That's true. But I do like the inverse now because it just looks like this beautiful butterfly goddess with the little girl and then Puck, and then Guts comes out of the lake looking like the demon.
Yeah, so we have the conversation where Jill is just like basically telling or Rosine telling Jill basically there were no elves. It was just a fucking made up story by a lonely child. I forgot the exact words, but it's basically that. And And then Puck is like, yeah, there were elves, because in the last deluxe volume, he had that little flashback thing to like the elves that used to live there. There were elves there before. So
that's one of the more heartbreaking parts of these chapters and the arc.
Hey, Wrangler.
Hail, Wrangler.
Also, like reading the Lost Children arc, it's just very sad. It's just like abuse leading to more abuse, leading to the twisted imaginings of a child given a twisted, dark, modern form. It's just
given unlimited power.
Yeah, but very much a return to form for Black Swordsman Guts.
But at the same time, her dream is confirmed that there were elves. She wasn't just dreaming. She wasn't crazy, as her father was saying. Puck confirms it. He could tell there were factually elves here.
Oh yeah, pause. Puck is dropping knowledge this entire volume, by the way. Like the entire deluxe volume, he's dropping hints and knowledge. I'm like, what? This is like a spoiler. Like you're a spoiler machine, Puck.
Puck is also just a vital character in this arc just for how dark it is. You kind of need that humor from Puck to just kind of dig your way out.
But you do have the final scene where Rosine's just basically telling Jill, "Oh, you'll be safe, you'll be fine because you have an elf with you," you know. And then Guts is just crawling out of the fucking lake,
looking like the demon, like the most demonic he's ever looked, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
Somehow he looks more demonic than the apostle in this situation.
Yeah.
I think that's the irony of this whole scene. It's like Guts is going to have a come to Jesus moment in this manga. It's not this particular part of the story.
No, and throughout the whole throughout the whole volume 6, it seems that Guts is not even like in a main character mode. It seems like it's sort of beast mode, and every other character is having like an arc during volume 6, and Guts is just like a force of Berserk in Berserk mode and not really.
Well, he is having an arc
present.
in this one.
Yep.
I agree too. He has to get to basically his lowest point. I was doing my own recording of that scene with the old man later, and I'll see if I can make that nice. But yeah.
So yeah, Jill and Puck are trying to stop Guts from fucking murdering Rosine. She's already dead. Like, she's lost an arm, she's lost blood, she's about to die. And he's just throwing them away. He ends up
she's already
throwing
dead.
herself onto over Rosine when Guts has his sword raised, and he does actually stop.
When he gets shot by a
No. Before that, he still stops and hesitates.
He hesitates. I didn't think he's. It looks like he's about to swing, and then he gets shot by a toothless country bumpkin.
You're not giving him.
Yes, he hesitates, but he's still about to swing.
Yeah,
yes.
But he hesitates, showing that he still has some humanity. But
yeah. You know what's funny about that, Billy? So anyway,
anyways,
all right, I'm gonna leave. Fuck this.
Bye.
No, don't leave, Billy Bob. No,
don't go.
We haven't gotten to the rape horse yet.
We'll get there.
Oh, cripes, dude! But I can't believe that guy successfully shot Guts. That's I don't know. It doesn't feel right.
Listen, Christian,
I love the whole bit.
If you play Dark Souls, any of them, that's literally how it goes. You beat the final boss, but there's always that one fucking NPC that gives you that critical kill that makes you restart the whole level all over again. You know?
Yes, Puck is an elf. And he confirms that Rosine was correct. There used to be elves there. She's like, I met an elf finally. And it's very sad and sweet because, frankly, she does deserve to die for the things she's done, but also she does feel like a victim, both of her own twisted dream-given life as well as the life she was leading before that. So it's just a very, very sad, like her death is almost bittersweet. That's how I describe it. What about
There's
you
a
guys?
lot of victims of circumstances in Berserk. Like even
I
the
was
main,
about to say that exact same thing. I completely agree.
Well,
for her, it feels even a bit more so than some of the others. That's what I'll say.
Well, circumstance or causality.
Same
there
thing.
There is a lot of causality going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot she does fly off for a second. I forgot about that.
I love the whole bit in these chapters where it has Jill's father actually landing a hit into Guts, and then it's like he doesn't care. He doesn't care for Jill whatsoever, but the other Holy King Knights all think he's being just a good father.
I shot the black swords, man. Yay. I'm gonna go
His
get
whole
struck
thing is to
down.
relive the glory days of a war they lost, so he can actually reclaim his honor.
I feel like a man
Even then, he's told
again.
to just sit it out.
That just makes you a beta cuck.
What a jackass he is.
I know, dude.
Oh, he's a terrible person.
Also, I love, like, Berserk does it with both, but it's like I think it's because almost everybody's effed up in some form or fashion. But it's like with some characters, like he's one of them. It's like if they look ugly, they are just a piece of shit.
Yes.
Yep.
That's true more often than it's false in Berserk.
if they're too beautiful, there's something up with them as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, if they are too pretty or too ugly, absolutely, yeah, Yeah, they're the worst.
If they're too pretty, they're either going to get screwed over later on, or they are going to be screwing other people over later on.
Also, how do we feel? How do we feel about the way Jill's kind of conclusions at the end of this story?
Well, hold up. You need to show the best part with the holy chain knights chasing after Guts, and he has to run. By the way, you had the whole joke with Sir Anton. What's his fucking name?
I don't know, man. Hold on, I'm looking through.
Anyways, the whole joke when they were with the mutated pseudo apostles they saw earlier in the forest, the dude was the father was like tripping over shit, and he was like, "Oh, you're just so concerned about your daughter and everything. It's just so brave." And
he's just like, "Yeah, that's it. That's definitely it."
And then after that, he tells him to stay with the children, and he's like, "But I want to chase after the Black Swordsman.
I want to shoot something. Shooting's the only thing that gives me hope."
So Jill sends Puck to go find him, and then Jill finds him in the cave hiding. And this is the best moment in all of Berserk, is his conversation with Jill, where he's actually being nice. I mean, he's being mean, trying to push her away because he doesn't want her to, let's be honest, die eventually.
He has never looked as demonic as he does in this portion of the story, in my opinion.
Right, but
I mean,
but you show though a 2-page spread where he's like, yeah, look around you. Look really.
This ain't normal.
Yeah, despite what you think that your world is bad, if you follow me, it's gonna be a whole lot worse. You don't want to.
And then show the next page where she
There's
starts
also
breaking.
There's a part earlier on where Guts is just literally telling himself to black out all his fear, just let the urge to kill take over. That's pretty much him during this whole fight.
The verge of our world. This place is adrift.
Yeah, you have him hit the spirits off of her and shit, and then she starts breaking down, and you have the best fucking page showing that Guts still has some compassion left in him.
Oh yeah, brought a single tear to my eye right here. Yeah,
that fucking drawing is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Also, because he's been so especially menacing in this particular arc as well. The show that he still has, like that person in him that loved the Band of the Hawk, loved Casca and all that, is still there.
It's a very theatrical shot as well. Like it's almost like you're on stage. You got the single spotlight. There's a lot of crafty visuals.
Yeah, then he does all that, and then he's basically like,
And then, like a father in the ghetto, he goes to get some milk.
Yeah, well,
he'll be back in 10 minutes.
Well, he tells her, this isn't her battlefield. She needs to go to her battlefield, meaning her house and stuff, and fight. Is what he's telling her.
And then he leaves. I think he just asked me to kill my dad. No.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying
this only gets more painful whenever you consider how just not too long after we have another kid joining up with Guts, and he actually
another child this volume.
Yeah. Only Isidro stays, whereas Jill is forced to stay home.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll bring him up because I know some people really don't like him. I actually like him. So
I like Isidro.
Otter. Let me just ask you something. If you put me in a situation in a game where you tell me, okay, you are basically in a miserable, horrible world, and I give you a child companion on the journey, would it be wrong of me to take that child on the adventure to help me fight the demons? Guts did it, and everyone loves the guy. What's wrong with
Guts
not
didn't
taking
take the child on him to go have adventures? Just saying.
Isidro runs after him.
Isidro's following him. It's not.
I like how the first time he swings his sword after learning the divine sword stance from Puck, and his sword just breaks like first time.
So yeah, we end up having, and we have the first mention of the Beast of Darkness. Guts is fucking tired. He's fought an apostle. He's fought all kinds of other shit from Deluxe. I mean, the dude's worn out. And he has the spirits once again coming to heckle him and being like, "Oh, Guts, you murdered all them children. I guess it's good if they're monsters and all this other shit."
Also, real quick. So we get here. We're at the end, like the final page of the Lost Children arc. She's kind of had her revelations. Jill has. In a village nestled in a ravine, difficult to see even from the air, I think I'm about to start my own tiny battle. It's a very hopeful note to end maybe one of the darkest storyline, like arcs in all of Berserk. How did you guys like?
Well, this isn't an arc. This is part of Conviction.
Yeah, but the Lost Children is like an arc within an arc. You know that's true.
Yeah,
Right,
it still
but
feels kind of like a separate story in a lot of ways.
It's still heavily connected to Conviction.
It is,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're talking about Lost Children, damn it. And what did you guys think?
It's my favorite part of Berserk.
It is pretty. I'm not gonna lie. The eclipse is bad. It was miserable. You know, it shocked me. But this arc actually made me sad. You know,
That's because it's about kids, man. It really hits home for that. I think that drives it.
oh no, I
It's
don't.
every
I don't give a fuck
horrible
about the
thing
kids.
we've
I felt
seen.
bad for that.
Yeah.
Listen, it's incredibly dark, but once again, this shows that the series isn't just grim dark. It does have hope in it with the characters. Like Jill doesn't end out with a completely hopeless like future.
Or getting
Gorn.
non-consensually fornicated with, which
Yeah,
definitely
well,
could have
that's
happened
wild.
somewhere in that
She
story.
she's not getting wild in the series. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
not getting wild. Oh shoot.
But yeah, we end with that, and then we start out with the next thing, which is Guts getting heckled by the spirits, and the spirits basically calling him a monster for murdering children, which he didn't. I mean, he kind of still did.
And
but he
that's when
didn't.
we get to see the first glimpses of the Beast of Darkness.
Yep, we find, like, you know, that you know, the little creature from that Beast in Black song.
Yep, it's the first one, but we will see later on the actual first image of the Beast of Darkness. We get the first mention of it.
Wait, which one?
And
Are you,
also,
Beast
we
of
get
Darkness?
we open that chapter
Oh.
out with Skeleton Knight.
I love
Skull
that shot
Knight.
of it because it almost always looks like a dog, and this one is just like demonic guts.
Yeah, but we end up with the opening the chapter with Skull Knight going through the burnt remains of Misty. Oh, by the way, Misty Valley is no longer misty. The skies are clear and shit at the end of it with Jill, when she was mentioning.
Yeah, it turns out you just had to kill a demon and set a bunch of human cocoons on fire.
Yeah, so Skull Knight is just being like, oh, well, I guess Guts is here and he's doing fine. And then he finds Rosine's Behelit and eats it. Just gobbles it.
Yes, I
I
noticed that.
wanted to ask about that. That's not. That's weird.
There's a reason for it. It does
I'll
get
say
explained
this.
later. It's just not anytime soon.
Here, I'll explain this with the least amount of explorers. You'll find out in Deluxe Volume 9.
That is
All right,
true.
so I'll be
You got a
covering that
point.
one too.
That's
Yeah.
a terribly long distance.
Yeah, but you'll find out.
Also, Puck, he was annoying at first, but Puck is getting funnier. I don't know if it's just that I'm getting used to him, or maybe because the story is so dark and needs it, or maybe maybe Miura is just getting better at writing Puck. But I'm no longer irritated by him in the story. And plus, I think he is like serving the function of he is helping keep Guts human a little bit.
Right. I mean, he's going to get more and more of a comic relief, especially with the Cedro and stuff later on. You'll see. The biggest problem is this is the last time he has serious moments. As we go on more and more, he has less of them. And he's mostly comic relief. But yeah, Guts fucking falls to the ground, and the little daytime spirits are about to kill him, and then Puck catches up, and we have the scene where Puck's fighting the daytime spirits.
It's so funny, dude.
And then
Like, just straight up.
by the way, Otter, look up when this chapter was released.
Which chapter?
This chapter, the one where
You heard him.
Beast.
This chapter.
yeah, the Beast in Darkness.
All right, I'm gonna have
Beast
to
of
look that up.
The reason why I'm going to bring it up because Puck is saved him and everything, and then you also have the scene where Puck's like, Guts is stronger than Spirit. I'm stronger than Spirit.
I'm
so
stronger
I'm
than
stronger
Guts.
than Guts.
It was the
I
Matt
love that
Serra,
joke
Matt
so
Hughes,
much.
and George St. Pierre conundrum.
Yeah, that was a nice little math emoticon.
Yeah.
Well, like it's so funny because it like this page, then literally like 2 pages later, it's like swing ding dancing fight dance fighting the daytime demons.
So yeah, so basically Guts kind of like he was gonna be serious and shit because Puck hit him with the little tiny what I forgot what plan it's called or whatever, little pokey thing.
Little switch.
Yeah, and then Guts was gonna be really serious and shit, and then he's like, "Yeah, fuck it, I can't be serious with you." And then he finally
Taking it
calls
seriously
Puck,
just seems silly.
yeah, he finally calls Puck for the first time in the entire series.
The very first time. Yeah.
By the way, I want to say it was like 10, 15 years. I think it's 10 years since the series started for him to actually finally call Puck.
Which makes this a collector's issue.
Yes.
Pretty much, man. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
F it, fine. It's been 10 years. He'll say the word.
Yeah, we end that chapter
Okay,
with Puck.
so
Go ahead.
So it was right around 1998 whenever that chapter was released.
Yep. So
right after the show was over.
Yep. So 9 years
Yep.
in between is how long it took. Because the final call by his name. And even Puck's happy that he's calling him by his name. And then we end the chapter with Farnese and the Holy Chain Knights
Chain
right
Knights.
behind.
Yep, they confront Guts and they say, African American swordsman.
Well, when we get to what the Holy Iron Chain Knights are, I mean, it's pretty funny. It'll work with that.
Also, this man is the Hawk of Darkness. I want to know what weird religious BS is going on here. They've revealed quite. Yeah, go ahead.
So, if at the beginning of Conviction, you have the right after the eclipse, and that's when they're after the Black Swordsman because they hear stories and shit. In their religion, the Hawk of Darkness is supposed to be Satan.
Yeah, and for some reason, I think of Griffith. I don't know why.
So keep in mind the prophecy that their religion knows is the Hawk of Darkness will come, and it will be the master of the sinful black sheep and the leader of the blind white sheep. We also get mention of another prophecy in this one that is of where they all converge on the Tower of Conviction, the blind white sheep.
Almost like the Ark is named after it.
Yeah.
Funny.
So,
really strange.
Yeah, so Guts is he's still
superstitions about to be proven to be pretty effed up.
Yeah, Guts is still pretty fucking beat up. Like he cannot really fight that much. He's just dodging.
He just killed like one of the toughest apostles he's had to face so far, and burned down a forest full of demons. And they're like, haha, look at him, so weak.
Yeah, they're trying to capture him, and then Guts just starts using his fake arm to start punching people's teeth out. Shit.
He's like, I can't swing my sword anymore.
Stuff,
so
yeah,
I mean, he's to the point where he can barely walk. He can't even hold his sword. He can barely even stand straight.
Well, I love it. I love it. He's like, I can't grip my sword. Next panel, I have a metal fist.
Yeah, he finally gets the strength to cut like 4 or 5 of them in half in one swing, and then Sir, look up his name. It's Sir Adon or Anton.
This is an interesting spot in the comic as well. Like, there's like 2
I think it's his honor
double
or something.
page. There's 2 double page spreads that are following each other. Like, that's kind of massive.
Yeah, but it's manga. They do it a lot. I will warn you later on in the series. There's an entire.
I think it's Azan. I think.
Also, yeah, it's like this fight is interesting. It's like we know Guts can beat them, but it's like how long can he stay awake and functioning? Because it's like he's already at the end of it.
Well, here's the funny part: when you have Anton or Andon, is it Adon?
It's Adon.
Yeah, Adon. Adon's basically like, all right, I'm going to challenge him to single combat. And Adon is actually a fighter. He's the only one who's actually experienced in warfare and combat. And then Guts gives a little backstory that.
These are a bunch of royal loser children.
Yes, they're royal.
They're a bunch of pampered nobles masquerading as.
It's like
proper
these are
knights.
like second and third sons and such. I'm like, these are useless
these are
royal
heirs.
children.
These are hairs. These aren't even.
These are
Wait. Pause. Can we? What are you saying they're called? What are you saying they are?
Say it one more time.
One more time.
H-E-I-R.
Is that you don't say the H though? Man.
I heard hairs.
That's what I heard. Yeah,
Heirs.
They're rich
heirs.
kids.
You can
Rich
say
kids who
whatever.
don't want to die.
They don't say he's the heir of the empire.
They're rich
Nah.
kids who don't want to face combat.
Listen, anyways, that they're the first children of the families. They're sent there so they don't have to fight in wars.
And then they meet Guts.
Yes, and then because Adon's like, hey, Farnice. By the way, Farnice, no experience. She's literally a diversity candidate.
They're like, well, traditionally the leader of this group's
hire.
female, and she had tits. So get in here. Yeah,
So,
that's what we
he's
like.
basically
She has a
knocking
little
her-
bit more going for her, but yeah, it's more
If she were
prestige, and
president,
also
she'd be
she's kind of a
Abraham
sadist.
Lincoln.
Well, no, hold up. First of all, Otter, what she has going for her is her family's one of the richest fucking people in the world. That's what's going on.
And later
Well-
on, they
she also
they
has
say like
prestige.
basically that's why she didn't get fired was because like your family's very very wealthy.
Yeah,
It's not
But-
just that, she also got famous for basically tossing in the torch to like burning heretics.
yeah,
as
but
a
that's
child.
later on. That's later on. Hold up.
Spoilers.
Yeah, so Adon and is Guts is just basically
It's
dodging.
definitely Azan. It's Azan.
Azan. Okay, I can't remember exactly what the name was. Anyways, he's basically keeping Guts back, and Guts is like starting to lose his vision and shit. And he's like, "Well, I'm fixing to pass out and stuff, so I might as well go for the head." And that's when he flips off of Azan's pike thing.
Also, let's
It
not
goes
forget
right-
that Puck points out another person who's way over the top in their
Yeah.
design and fighting style.
So Guts ends up landing in front of
Bernice.
Farnice, and Farnice is just like weakly grabbing onto her sword and just holding it out. Here's what knocked him out, and actually did have a problem with this because I didn't understand where the fuck did the wood piece come from that hit him in the arrow that was in his leg that caused him to pass out. That's what causes him to pass out.
I thought about that. I still don't really know.
Yeah, well, I know how he passed out because when he landed, some wooden piece came out of fucking nowhere, hit him in the fucking arrow in his leg, and then it caused him to to pass out.
Also, like, look how fucking proud she is too. She was like, "I did it. What happened?"
Yeah, she's. And then Azan is basically like, "Yeah, you did good, but you need to give the men orders and stuff to get out of here and shit."
Remember, you're in charge.
Yeah, and then she's like, "All right, let's head out." And
I
then,
like how in this group there's like one real knight, and
Yes.
the rest are just like, "Oh yeah, we're
And
here."
he
Well-
is a Giga Chad. I'll give him that.
Serpico, he's not a knight, but he does know how to fight, and you'll find out later. Yeah.
Would you mock the valor of knights?
Oh yeah, because all the fucking nobles are pissed because their friends died, so they want to murder him. And Azan's like, "Stop."
Also, whenever it's not
I-
with
I
a
like how
friend or
even-
somebody. Yeah, go ahead.
Even Guts is saying, "What's with these goody two shoes? Like they're seeing friends die. Like is this their first battle or something?"
Yes.
Pretty much.
Also, I like how they're like yelling at Guts, and I'm like, this is about as productive as every other conversation that Guts has with a stranger. This is about as vocal as he gets at this point in the story. They're like, would you mark the valor of knights, Guts? Absolutely nothing.
Well, I also love it before when Azan asks for Guts' name, and he's like, "You're a knight," and then Guts is like, "I'm not a knight, and you can just call me Guts.
Also, the fact that they took off, like, he's missing his mechanical arm, and so he's only able to use half of the restraint device.
Oh yeah, what are they called? It's the wooden block thing.
It's like stocks, but stocks are they stay still. This is like a mobile stock unit. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. Well, they put well, Guts is fixing to get interrogated by Farnese, who tells her men to leave him there, and he's chained up, and to not tell Azan, and to also stay far away from the tent.
She wants some alone time with Guts, I think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That, like, I'm reading this. I'm like, this is about to turn it. Like, I hear a
Wow, chicka wow.
Yeah, so she's basically interrogating Guts and asking about his weapons and all this other shit, and then Guts is just he doesn't care.
It's like, you don't know what the life I've lived. Like, do you think you're going to, like, this little girl with a whip is going to really scare the crap out of him?
Yeah, and I do. This does work for Guts's character being like anti-religious and anti-God, and he's basically calling her a phony fucking religious person. And there's
also, she has a Bailet. I'm sure that won't come up ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's his Bailet.
Yeah, I've been wondering what, like, he's had it for a while now. I've been wondering why it hasn't come up yet, or if it ever will.
It comes up multiple times throughout the rest of the series that he has it. It even brings up questions, but that'll be later on.
I like that. Like, Guts doesn't like to talk and like with people he doesn't know. And finally, when he does open up and start talking, he gets whipped immediately because he made fun of her religion.
Well, I mean, he's basically telling her that she's hiding behind her religion and that she's not really a believer, and she's like a what is it, hollow idol?
And even Puck looks bored by this display of violence against Guts. Like, Guts is sitting there taking
Guts,
it.
he doesn't even flinch. He just gives her this cold death stare. Like, really?
Look at Puck's face. He is like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. I'll fix him later.
Yeah, but Farnese is doing that, and she's really getting into it, guys.
She
really
is enjoying herself.
She's blushing a little, if you notice, just a little bit, and then she starts blushing more. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, she ends up putting the whip like on his chest, but before she goes any further, Azan and them show up.
I was just interrogating him. Buttons up her blouse.
Yeah, and then basically they just send Guts to a fucking cage with. He's just sitting in the cage with a little blanket on top.
And she's going to have to finish that whipping session by herself, unfortunately.
She's like, I can do it myself.
Yeah, and then Guts is basically like, oh, well, it's about to get nighttime and shit. And then there's a little spirit saying sacrifice. It's like, well, shit.
Also, I wish I had the meme of Thanos. Fine, I'll do it myself. Furnace with the whip.
But
also, can we just talk about the moment? Can we talk about the moment where Puck is about to free Guts, and he's like, "Oh yeah, first you got to say thank you, Guts."
Yeah, he says,
and Guts actually listens to him.
Guts said, "Hold up."
Yeah,
Guts
and then he just eggs him on. He's like, "Oh, great, Puck."
And Puck is so oblivious. He's just like, "Oh, more praise, yes."
Well, you have Guts in the background panel being like, "Just one twist, one little twist."
Dude,
and there goes his neck.
We talk about how messed up this symbol is for their religion. First, it's similar to the cross. Secondly, it's a white dove on a cross. Thirdly, it has a Bailet, and it looks like also looks like the medical symbol, which is an alchemic symbol.
Symbolism.
It's a very well designed effed up symbol.
Yeah,
totally,
it's really well designed. It's also just
its ugly head later on.
Surely nothing bad.
Yeah, it's totally not Christianity symbol, and it's twisted.
So Guts ends up getting free, and then ends up finding Farnese whipping herself, and then does the what was it called in Star Trek? The fucking
voyeurism.
No, where they do the fucking the karate chop. That's what he does to Farnese to knock her out and ties her up.
Well, like, think about it. He's so strong and so used to going full tilt. Like, he has to think of a way not to just, like, flick her head off when he hits her.
But he's basically like, he ties her up, and then they very quickly find out that, Guts escaped. So he lights her tent on fire and then takes her as a prisoner. I do love the scene where he's what was it called? The clergy. Hold on, let me find it. Where he basically tells it that he can light Farnice's ass on fire. They don't let him by.
Yeah.
Just watch, I'll light her ass on fire.
Yeah, that
Who
was a
says
good
only
call.
clergy
It
can
also
burn
draws
someone
her ass
alive?
at a square angle right at that moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
A very interesting pose and drawing.
Very detailed. Very detailed. That's all.
Suggestive.
Surprisingly detailed. That totally won't come up later.
Nope.
Yeah, so I also love this.
Oh, look, they have a horse. It'd be a shame if that backfired.
Yeah, he gets on the horses. He lights the other horses' tails on fires to get them to run away. And then Puck is sitting there being like,
What the
Guts,
fuck?
how dare you? You can't do that.
You set
Say
a horse
sorry
on
to the
fire.
horse."
Oh, and then
In
I
a
love
few
when
chapters,
Fernice is
realize,
like,
yeah,
she's like screaming, "You
not a
can't do this! I'm a messenger of God!" And then Guts is like, "What if I dangle you inches from your death via?"
What does your God say about this?
Pretty much. Oh yeah, and then we have her like
then
second in
Puck
command, who is
realizes-
a secret badass the whole time too.
Puck also realizes that she can't see him. She's got like basically
Yeah.
tunnel vision. Like she's more or less just like subconsciously ignoring him. So he's like, I hate being ignored. So he just like takes out a little like feather or like
It starts
a
tickling her.
piece of wheat or something, just starts tickling her along the back of her neck. She thinks that Guts is like rubbing the back of her neck or something.
Oh, so we're going to go ahead and explain this. Puck's reasoning on why she can't see him, by the way, it's complete bullshit.
Oh,
Yeah, like that's not actually why she can't see him.
like the problem with Puck is he gives a lot of information, even spoilery information, but then he's also an idiot. So like half of what he says doesn't really work.
Yeah, the problem is like Mira put this down, but he had it like maybe that's how it works, but later on it's revealed that's not how it works. And the problem is that this whole retcon doesn't make sense because it was never a thing earlier in Berserk. No one's ever had a problem seeing
Yeah, exactly. This is the first
Stormcrow-
time. Yeah.
Stormcrow says, "Gotta be honest, Fernice is still hot."
Listen, I simp
If she
over.
were a president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. Now I understand why you guys like Farnice that much, you perverts.
Yeah, but
I
that's the
am not
thing.
into her at all. Like she does very.
Here's the thing, y'all don't understand what's coming later on. Right now, all you have is crazy bitch who gets off of burning people alive. That's all you have right now. Okay.
I mean,
She's
I'll take
dangerous.
her over the blonde girl later in this volume, but
Nina.
holy fuck, dude.
So
Oh god.
Guts is running off, and then Serpico gets on a horse and is chasing after him, and he's about to shoot Guts with his bow, and then spirits are fucking chasing.
And he's
going
like,
past
what? He's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. And then, well, Guts is fighting the spirits, and the horse gets possessed, and they fall off. Now, the horse will come up later. But
I wonder
after
how.
that- yeah, after
Oh yeah,
that,
because like the
well,
spirits are infecting anything living or even a body they can inhabit as well. But they find all the dogs,
Yes.
and
yeah, a pack
we've
of
mentioned
dogs
the
come up,
horse.
and then Guts is like, yeah, a pack of dogs come up, and Guts is like, God, Jesus fuck, now I gotta spend all night doing this.
Also, these dogs are horrifying. Like that imagery.
By the
They
way,
are not fucking around.
No,
before
dude.
this, Guts is still mocking Farnice's religion and being like, "Well, look here, God gave us a
Very
miracle
good,
on
Herman.
earth.
Very good.
Yeah, God gave us a miracle on earth."
Oh
and
yeah,
shit.
that line. Look at these miracles.
Yeah,
That's why it's called a miracle.
because Farnice is well, I mean, I would freak out if I was seeing possessed demon spirits dogs. Yeah, all throughout the night.
Dogs and a horse. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
so
would freak
that-
anybody
As
out.
horrifying as the dogs are, they are nothing next to what's coming up in a couple of panels here.
Yeah, so Farnice decides to run across to the horse that got possessed a little bit, and then she commands the horse to let her mount him and take her back to camp. And then the horse, well, he says no. And
I think he said, "Nay,
I'll mount you instead."
He doesn't say that.
Yeah, but what exactly?
I mount.
Says
No,
is,
it's even
you don't
worse.
Mount me.
I mount woman.
Are we showing the famous or infamous panel here?
Her.
Billy Bob's showing it.
Perfect.
Okay, that's good enough. Yeah, that's the face, and it doesn't get. It's not any better on any other. In fact, it's worse.
Only gets worse from here, guys.
No, it gets way worse.
Also, the page that is both the horse on top of Fernice and Guts' flashback, very, very good. I cannot show any of that on stream. But,
just picture the Casca scene, but instead of Griffith over her, it's a horse with a giant cock.
Oh God, how can you make it worse? You made it worse.
That's just his tail, Billy Bob. That's true.
Yeah, it's
surely
just his tail.
Just his tail. Facing the wrong direction. It's fine.
By the way, if you played Bloodborne, the horse is very familiar for Ludwig.
Oh, jeez. Also, I love how Guts saving her also almost ends her existence.
Yeah, he almost cuts her head off, but he manages to stop himself.
No, he hit the ground and just kept the angle from going any further.
He's got great sword control.
The horse or Guts?
Guts. He's got sword control.
Oh, okay.
Well, Guts told her basically to stay the fuck where she is unless she wants to die, and then he goes back to fighting the dogs.
Also, Puck picking up on Guts's emotions and memories is he's just at first, because he only gets a glimpse at first, and he's like, "What is that?"
Yeah, he gets the glimpse of the eclipse with Casca in them.
Yep.
And he has no clue what the fuck he just saw. It's like, oh. By the way, very much more penisy than the actual eclipse scenes. You'll start noticing the little flashbacks.
Yep.
So
finally, daytime comes. Fernice is nude and free, as she has been most of. Actually, she's had less. She's been topless on more panels than she hasn't been at this point.
Yes. So yeah, basically, one last little spirit starts possessing her, and then basically telling her that she really wants to bang one out. You know, give into her lust. There is no God. She has no God in her heart and all this other shit. And she actually starts doing it.
Oh, that panel where it's like behind her and also like gripping. It's something, man. It's something. It's an interesting
really
look at the
panel.
darker side of.
There's a few panels where she's kind of jumping on Guts' sword there.
Well, so yeah, she ends up going over there, and Guts is just worn out. And then she ends up riding his sword and then tying him with the rope, and then telling him to drive his sword up and split her in two.
And no, this is not a metaphor.
No,
By the way,
in any other story, this would be a metaphor.
Reaction is
not
amazing.
Berserk.
Yeah, Puck's reaction of just being like, "What the fuck?" And then Guts is about to knock her out. By the way, Guts is like, "I just need to knock her out again before this goes any further." But
Hell with it, I'll knock her out again. Guts is like, I wasn't ready for this. Oh, Stormcrow, shush.
He also comments on her amazing strength, by the way, when she's choking him with the rope.
She's really strong.
But the sun comes up, so the spirit gets blasted away. And then, by the way, I forgot to mention one of the funniest parts. So you know how Puck was fighting the daytime spirits and he was killing them and shit?
Yep.
When he tries to go up against the nighttime one,
it's nope.
It just fucking screams at him.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Guts is like, yeah, the nighttime ones aren't like the daytime ones.
Also, Fernice, her second in command, definitely sees her essentially mounting Guts from a distance, but he's not in it.
She gets caught.
Yes.
And then she responds as any other woman in that situation. This is your fault. Slaps him. Right across the noggin. Holy
Well, she's also telling him to kill Guts, and then for her honor, and then he's like, "Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Like, I can't do that."
He's pretty. You know what? He deserves the button. Hold on. Based.
Yeah, he's smart enough to know that he would die.
But he does. He is
so he
still
had-
fairly impressive. He's one of the only people in the same speed range as Guts.
Yes, I'm telling you, he's more than what he's putting on. Who actually his skill.
Oh,
level.
obviously, yeah. That was obvious even
Well,
earlier
because
than this.
They have the whole
both
interaction.
swing
with him and
swords at
Guts
each other.
talking. Yeah, it's the whole interaction with him and Guts talking. Then when Guts turns around, he tries to fucking hit him with the sword. Manages to cut Guts.
It's like Guts gets grazed across the cheek, and Serpico's whole boot is just destroyed.
Yeah, his bottom of his soles got hit by the Dragon Slayer, and basically Serpico is like, "All right, well, I tried."
He's
Then
like,
they just-
I participated. I want my trophy. I'm done. Also, Fernice connecting Guts being alive to her shame somehow. It's very telling about her character.
Well, she's sitting there, she wants his lips sealed. Okay, here's the thing with the spirit possession. It doesn't force you to do something you don't want to do. That's one thing. It does actually act on your desires and shit. This will become up later.
It takes
in the
away your
series.
inhibitions, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, the reason why this is important because it will become important later on for certain other things. How the actual spirit possession, like you're not getting forced to do what you don't want to do.
It's just like alcohol spirits.
So yes, Farnice is wanting to fuck Guts. That's all I'm saying.
She saw his half arm and she's like,
I mean, those religious types
she
are
wanted
always
some of that
into
dragon
bad
slayer.
boys, you know.
well, when you make it a religious practice to abstain from anything, it will make that thing that much more tempting. In many ways, anyway.
And those
Now
good,
we're-
girls, those good girls are always into bad boys anyway. You know that.
Yeah, so we end up with Guts just leaving with Puck, and then we start Revelations chapters. In which
Also,
we get,
I don't really know who this guy is here in the beginning of the story, but he actually seems like a good dude.
Who?
In the beginning of the next section, the leader of this group.
Oh yeah, no, you know who he is. You've met him in Golden Age.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, Sir
I forgot
Laban. He's an actual. He was
yeah.
actually one of the lords who actually supported Griffith. This is why I brought his name up in Deluxe Volume 2 because he is a character that you see throughout the rest of the series.
Well, he's
Small
one of the
character.
only he's one of the only military leaders in any like position of authority who is just he was not just a piece of shit. Like
Yeah,
right off
so
the bat.
we end up with the refugees like coming from the town. He goes into the town and finds out that a fucking plague has
wiped
sparked off.
everything out. Yeah.
But first, when we start with the revelations, we get that double page spread of like, oh, there's been earthquakes, famines, wildfires, Kushan's invading, you know, like everything horrible is going on in Midland and also the world. And there was also a dream that everyone had of the Hawk of Light.
Yep.
Wonder what that could be.
I wonder what that could be referencing. Maybe the leader of the Band of the Hawk.
Maybe the one God Hand member. Huh.
Oh, maybe the guy who looks like a literal fucking bird's head. Maybe that guy.
So when you know what, can you show that double page spread?
No Rady boys involved.
You can show some of it, just don't show the bottom part.
The lower half, yeah.
By the way,
Wait,
this has a really fucking cool detail in it. If you notice on the left hand in the middle side of the second page, where do you see the people? They're all put on the wooden wheels.
The wheels, yeah.
Yep, which is Father Moscus's main torture device. He kills people. But you know, you have Laban talking about that, and Laban helps the peasants in a mudslide. Notices they have a plague. He goes there. The old man is basically like, yeah, everyone's fucking dead.
How the hell is he alive? I like the conversation, so I allow it, but I'm like,
he's just an old man. I mean, it's just someone there.
Like, there's always somebody out there who's just like, I don't get sick, but I am gonna die.
Yeah. So, well, Laban is also thinking on that
The king.
I mean, he's fucking crazy. 7th tenth of the army has been for 2 years searching for Griffith this entire time.
What a waste of resources, dude.
Yep.
Especially considering he's literally not in this plane of existence.
Yeah, and then he's like talking about the dream, of course, and what does the hawk symbolize and Midland and the world. And then basically his little second commando's like comes up to him and is like, "Oh yeah, the king is dead."
By the way,
like, "Oh shit!" And then we cut to a really cool scene of the rats all forming up into Conrad's face, which is showing that the God Hand has something to do with all these disasters going off in the world in Midland with the spirits. Then you get that other page you shown.
I didn't realize it was Conrad's face until you mentioned it. Actually,
oh yeah, it's Conrad.
I saw the face. I just didn't make the connection there. Yeah,
which is once again, this is our connector that the God Hand have something to do with this. But then we open up with Windhelm. By the way, show this double page spread of Windhelm Castle.
This is the one I think you're going to show. It's a very beautiful castle.
Yep, it's the rural castle.
Yep. And he's increasing the details, a lot of shadows. You know, he leaves a lot of bricks open lined as well to give light
a lot of
and stuff.
bricks.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
So we cut to I forgot his name, but he's the blondie one that was also with Sir Laban, who was actually pretty supportive of Griffith, the other lord. What's his name? I always forget.
Also, the king is like, I just want to spend another day with my daughter.
But he ends up walking through this, and he's basically told that the king's calling for Charlotte, so he's going to get Charlotte. And then he hears all the nobles once again doing all their scheming bullshit. The only one who's not doing it is
the Q-tip.
Yeah, let me look up his name. Minister Foss, who was the asshole who tried getting Griffith killed in Golden Age. And his thing, I think the one thing you hear him say is the hawk will come again, is what he's saying.
Come again?
Yeah, he's turned into a crazy old man, it seems like.
Well, not really. I mean, I think he really learned his lesson in Golden Age.
Yeah, I think
he's like, I'm just gonna be around. I'm not gonna muck up the works. Just leave me be.
Yeah, and then the dude's also being like, "Oh, Griffith, that'd be great."
Gonna drop some prophecies here.
Yeah, they're trying to get.
I hate that little smile on Griffith's face right there. Hate it. Well, every single line of it.
Well, right before that, he gets Charlotte won't come out of her room. She's only been she won't leave her room at all for like the last 2 years.
Well, do you blame her?
Yeah, she just she wants her father just to fucking die.
She's like, it will not take much longer. Leave me be.
Yeah, and then we cut to the king, in which he's like, it's really cold, and we get like this ominous thing, the king on his throne, and like the knights are appearing around him, and he keeps saying, "Yeah, valiant soldiers, this will protect me. This will be great for me. But please, for someone fucking light a fire. It's cold as shit.
Please, someone."
And then he asks, he asks for his bring warmth, and then Charlotte appears, and then that's where you get that scene of the hawk showing up, and it's Griffith. The king starts freaking out, but he actually finally has like a kind of a coming to terms, being like, "Oh, like I should have just let Griffith become the king. Like, should have just like I don't want to be king. I've always fucking hated it." That's where he ends up.
Like
with
the king is a tragic character, because I think in some ways he was a good man, but he let what he loved and valued get twisted so much so that he became the decrepit, evil little monster that we see.
Yeah, here's his. By the way, show where he's like freezing over and melting.
I'll see.
It's like you can tell that he loved his original wife, where they had their daughter together, but after she passed, it's like his grief for her and his loathing for the new queen turned into like his twisted perversion towards his daughter. Because he sees more of like his original wife and his daughter.
But it was Griffith
really
that,
fucked up.
It was Griffith that lit the fuse, though. I don't think he had done anything to his daughter before.
No,
Griffith.
he hadn't done anything, but he was definitely wanting it to happen.
He brought the idea.
It was there. Griffith was just the catalyst.
His final dialogue is, "Yes, perhaps it is so. Perhaps I sought after you, as a rescuer to liberate me, a solitary man from his prison called a throne to madness." And then he fucking dies. But he is screaming Griffith's name at the end. As you can see.
That truth be told, that's how Griffith would have wanted it.
Yeah, and then Charlotte, they hear the tolls ring, and then Charlotte's screaming for Griffith to save her. And then you have a little tiny boy. He's
Fat
like,
chance on that.
Yeah, the little boy's like, Mom, outside of the castle is like, Mommy, the mountains are moving.
That's not, and they're just ignoring him.
That's not
then
normal.
It cuts to show this double page spread.
Yeah,
your mountains should not be moving. There's something very geographically wrong going. Geologically,
it's not whimsical enough to be the imaginings of a child. It's a bad sign. We got elephants.
Moving, we're doomed.
We got the Easterners from Lord of the Rings. They're here.
So I'm gonna do this. And
the Oliphants.
A little bit of a spoiler, but I'm not gonna tell you exactly who it is. These are the Kushans. Now, back in Deluxe Volume 3, I told Bat Sauce that Griffith's dream was always going to be destroyed because the Kushans were always going to invade 2 years later. And on top of that, the Kushans are led by the world's strongest apostle.
Now, I didn't know that.
Zod?
No, the world's strongest.
No.
Zod is the second. And the gap between Zod and this apostle you'll eventually meet is staggering.
That's too bad. I really like Zod.
So
wait, please tell. I want Zod and Guts to team up and kick that guy's ass. Just let it.
Yeah.
Well, just hold that thought.
Yeah.
I want Zod to say the line like kneel before Zod.
But that won't. This won't happen until Millennium Falcon.
Damn it.
Where you have the whole Kushan plot, but right now the Kushans have taken over the capital.
Well, let's think about it. What if Griffith had risen to power?
He would have been bored within a year. He would have been bored within a year.
Here's the thing: by the time even if he became king, the Kushans are invading. This is something that's always going to happen, and the Band of the Hawk cannot take on the Kushans army.
Yep. Also, I skipped over to the next page after that was Zod. I just noticed something about his sword that I'm upset I didn't notice before. The dragon-like head on his sword is actually just his demon form head, or very close to it. It's like the only thing monster worthy of being on my sword is me.
Yeah, I love the part where it opens up and they're like, oh, he took out 300 men. Fuck this, we're leaving. And then Zod just cuts them all in pieces.
And he's just like, he's having his Saitama come to Jesus moment. He's like,
yeah, he's just sitting over the corpses and he's like, how many times have I done this?
A lot.
You know, I fought like all these humans and they're fucking useless. I even turned to apostles to fight them, but they're no good either.
I missed Skull Knight.
Yeah, the only one was Skull Knight. Oh, yeah, and the Branded Swordsman. And he's like, he cut down. I've heard that he's cut down several apostles.
Maybe he'll be fun. And then he sees his little vision. Turns out not to be entirely a vision.
Yeah, you have a White Hawk shows up, and he's like, he's basically telling him, hey, you're asleep. This is between consciousness, and that you want to fight. And then the Hawk beats him in one hit, like hits him in the jaw and cuts off his horn and his face in half. And then Zod wakes up and then he actually sees his horn broken off and he's bleeding from it. So it was real. And what was the dialogue? The hawk tells him, when the sky falls at the holy ground where blind sheep gather and erect a pillar of fire, it will come.
The desired will come. Yeah.
Not suspicious at all. And then we cut to Guts, who's basically like, hey, there's a lot of like dead people in dead towns, and the houses are like really filled up with spirits and stuff. And then Puck is like, hey, there's this old what are they called? It's like the stone pillar thing, and
it's Stonehenge. Yeah, go to Stonehenge. Nothing bad will happen there.
Yeah, he's just telling him, he's like, you haven't slept in 2 days. Go there. And then Guts goes there, and then he gets a vision of his own.
A really messed up vision. One that I'm not.
In which Casca's on a bunch of on a pyre about to be burnt,
with a religious symbol in the background.
Yeah.
Also, she no longer has that butch haircut, which is good.
Yes, she has long hair.
Character growth, guys. Character growth.
And her tits got bigger, and she got much more of a womanly figure this time around.
Yeah, she doesn't look like
this is very much shapely anime character growth.
But Guts wakes up and he's like, "Did the incubi do that?" And then he sees his little tiny child, demon child,
who keeps on showing up everywhere.
Who basically is
to both him and Casca. Yeah.
Yeah, he the baby projects his Casca's face on it and just telling him danger, and then telling him he needs to hurry.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah, and he basically repeats what Griffith the Hawk repeated to Zod, telling him to get there really fucking quick. So the Guts is like, yeah. Guts is basically like, did something happen? And then he's going to
Maji.
Yeah, he's going to where Rickard, Godo, and them are at, because that's where he left Casca.
Now, this portion might be one of my favorite portions in the entire story.
Listen, this is my favorite joke. Starting off, we open with Erica cutting some wood, and then she notices that it's winter and stuff, and then she starts hearing a song. And she turns around and it's Puck just singing a song. Here, you want to sing it for us, Christian?
Okay, yeah, hold on. I got the voice mod. Hold on. Let's see.
Snow falls, spirit of winter, gently from the sky, spirit of winter.
Yeah, he's singing the song, and Erica's like sneaking up, seeing what it is, and then
that's good, man. Good.
Show the page if you can, because I love the fucking joke.
It's so funny. right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she's
she discombobulates it like his entire body.
Oh, by the way, the next page you're gonna have to show. She's I love how she's screaming Rickard. She says she caught something neat, a chestnut-headed goblin. Chestnut head goblin.
Also, yeah, and then she's like the most ominous version of Guts has ever appears, and because she recognizes it, she's just like, "It's you."
This is why I like this.
Well, it's like she flinches for a moment, then she realizes who it is.
But I love this moment because there is kind of symbolism on how fucking like demented and worn down Guts has been over the past 2 years since she's seen him. That he first appears like this ominous, dark, evil bastard. And then she's like, oh, it's Guts. Then she's like, he starts smiling and shit. Then we get Rickard. We get Rickard 2 years later. With Guts and them talking.
He's he's been training as an African American smith.
Yes, under Godo. But Guts is basically like asking about where's Casca, and he's like, yeah, she's gone. Guts is a asshole and just blowing up on him and stuff,
To be fair,
I mean,
he hasn't been getting a lot of sleep.
True, but while he's about to be blaming Rickard, Erica says it was her fault because she took Casca outside and lost her. She walked off.
Blame the little girl, yeah.
And also that Rickard was looking for her, but he has to come back.
Also, guys, Maji has spoken. This is the only way we spell Berserk from now on.
Okay. Berserk.
Anyway, we're reading Berserk.
Yeah, Rickard tells like there's a reason why he can't leave, and then Guts sees that Godo is in his final stages of life.
He is not doing well.
But I love this part because Godo is basically
calls him out on his shit.
Yeah, he's basically telling him like,
talking some
one, you
sense
have
into
no
Guts.
room to talk with Rickard and them because Rickard actually fucking stayed. He didn't run away. And also, you know, the whole sword, the crack in the blade. Talking about the rush shit. Here, if you want to explain it, Otter or Christian.
Also, he's looking at the equipment. This shouldn't look like this even after 10 years.
Right.
But I love the whole speech and conversation with Godo. And basically telling Guts that you should have fucking stayed with Casca and Rickard and you should have grieved and you should have been there. Like, you shouldn't have ran a fucking away.
You were using revenge and hatred as a band-aid for, like, to avoid sorrow.
Oh, I love this one.
Well,
you're like a drawn sword on the battlefield. Well, let me read this.
Well, he was saying that revenge was really just his way of running away from
100%.
Because he was afraid.
Yeah, but he's also talking about when Guts was saying, because Guts says when Godo says all that shit to him, he says no human understands that. They died, no one was left, none of it made any sense. Suddenly, unfairly, like bugs, without understanding anything. They were all young. They could have done something if they lived, but still, in an instant, to me, they were irreplaceable. And that's where Godo's like, yeah, you didn't lose all your irreplaceable things. You still had Casca, and you fucking
you were right, but you were right beside those irreplaceable things. Yet you couldn't bear to immerse yourself together in sorrow with them.
Damn, man, it's hard,
dude. It hits so hard. It's such a good conversation.
And I love the last part.
This is the moment in Berserk where.
Let me say this one last thing, because I love this last part. Where Godo says, you're like a drawn sword on the battlefield, one with countless nicks, soaked in blood and rusting, with a lethal crack in it, a sword that's begun to break. That is Black Swords and Guts.
All right, I agree. Otter, you can speak now.
Well, at this point, I've actually forgotten what I was going to say.
Damn it, Billy.
Well, hold on.
Well, I tried multiple times saying this.
Otter, hold on. Let me help you out. Were you about to talk about the fact that Guts almost has his mental breakdown with the Beast of Darkness behind him?
No, it's more that this is a pivotal moment of introspection for Guts. This is about as introspective as Guts gets as a character, to where he's actually being called out on what he's doing with his life.
Like, anyone who doesn't know him thinks he's this strong, powerful person, and in some ways he is, but in many ways he's a weak, frightened child.
He's coming and acting like a father figure, you know. He's like giving them that tough love talk.
Yeah.
But my question to you guys is this: would it really been a good idea for Guts to stay with Casca to begin with?
Yes, probably.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
Because oh my god,
For
the
one,
whole reason he's having a mental fucking breakdown because he decided to go to war. He
endured 2 years of hellacious demonic attacks that he really didn't need to endure.
Matter of fact, Rickard's the perfect example of this. Rickard lost his family more so than Guts, actually, because Rickard's actually been with the Band of the Hawk longer.
And he actually connected more with them, yeah.
Right. And we even open up the next chapter with Rickard made gravestones for every Band of the Hawk member that died.
To that cave that Casca was in, that was where elves stayed at one point, so it was actually a safe place.
The elves!
Oh, and Puck recognizes Rickard, and they recognize each other because they met in Golden Age. And Rickard's still a little bit scared of elves. Albeit, funny enough, he doesn't know about Guts killed Rosine and stuff. He has no clue about that.
Because he did see Rosine.
I still love the bit where...
Yeah. Go ahead.
I still love the bit where Puck is kind of like butting in with Rickert, like while he's in the middle of working on Guts's equipment. And at one point, it's just Chestnut Puck strutting up, just trying to get a rise out of Rickert, and he's just like flinching away and shit.
Yeah, I love when Puck is in this one before they get to the cave. Puck is like, "Oh, I'm still amazed that you Rickert turned out to be Guts's friend," and he's like, "All lies within the casual current," or something like that. instead of causality.
That was a weird translation. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was a joke.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, they
What
bring
would
Guts
you
to the cave and stuff.
Also, Guts having nightmares about Casca when there are no actual demons harassing him. Yeah, that's a rough night. I love the Beast of Darkness wrapped around him as well. That's such a good.
Yeah, Eric.
Oh, it's such a beautiful
because he ran
panel.
off for 2 years ago on this revenge tour that really gained him nothing.
It just fed the beast within him.
I also like when Rickart's Guts is apologizing to Rickert, and then you have in the background with Erica basically telling Puck that they're gonna cuddle.
I know, I love that. It's so funny, dude.
Yeah, Puck is like, "What about me?" And she's like, "You'll be cuddling with me."
Also, neither here nor there. I've noticed two things. One, Casca has really big ass feet. Two, Guts has my feet exactly.
But
neither here nor
you
there.
do have Guts, and I love it where he's like, "It's no use, even though I'm safe. There's no way I can sleep in the dark without a sword. No, chances are I won't be able to sleep at night for the rest of my life."
Yeah,
that's fair.
And then
it's so rough, dude.
He's even having like little flashbacks with Casca and stuff. Oh yeah, you get the
this
can't
image
show
is
this,
it's so good, dude.
but you get the flashback with the Casca and the eclipse.
Yeah, we get that quite a bit actually in this volume.
You get it a lot throughout the rest of the series too. Every arc
is a pretty pivotal moment.
Yeah, the eclipse.
Casca's brain didn't make it.
But I love this is where Guts goes, "I didn't run away. I can't run. Not from the last thing seared into my right eye." With the Casca getting wild. And then he goes, "Fear, malice. I don't know. Possibly it's both, but I can never atone for this dark flame. If I can't atone, if I can't escape, all I can do is burn myself and my enemies with it." And then you get the Beast of Darkness, in which it starts talking to him.
It's such a good chant. It's such a good one, dude.
I'm so glad we can actually talk about the Beast of Darkness now.
I know.
Now, I will
like,
say,
you saw hints of very slight hints of it before. But now it's like, oh, you can actually see it. Like
this is why when not bat sauce, when I think it was you who asked us, it was you or Readout, I don't remember which one. Y'all asked what is Guts' spirit animal, and we all responded with dog.
Yep.
It's a dog.
Yeah, so you end up with the Beast of Darkness being like, the blood must flow, so keep killing. It will still thirst forever. All always. Okay, so you know how we got the you know how the spirits operated mostly in the story as being kind of pointing out Guts and stuff and putting him down and all this other stuff. The Beast of Darkness kind of takes over that role from now on.
Interesting.
You'll see him every now and a little bit later. He becomes more of a thing later on. But then we get flashback scenes to Golden Age with I
like that you can actually see the difference in all the characters, like in their ages. Because like you get used to drawing him at a certain age, and then you're like, he's having these flashbacks. It's like it would have been very easy to not draw them correctly, but he does.
Yeah, I love
Casca
you got
looks young, and the whole thing.
Yeah, so after the Beast of Darkness disappears, he's like, maybe what Godo said is right, though. What can I say now when I left her in a state like that? I've got no right talking about revenge for my comrades when I abandoned Casca, abandoned the Band of the Hawk itself. And then it flashes back to basically Corcus when he told Guts that, he abandoned them, and then he wasn't there for when they were at their worst point, so he's not a comrade. And then Judo basically telling Guts that he has no obligation to be with them when they save Griffith, and then also the flashback to when Casca tells him, tell him he needs to be alone and leave.
A lot of mixed messages in there.
Yep. And then he also thinks back to the fight between him and Griffith, which started the eclipse, leading to it.
Yeah.
He's like, long ago, ever since then, I haven't had that right. I started this war myself.
But I do love this line, though. The campfire from those days still burns in my chest. What a great line. What a great freaking line.
Also, you need to show the so he keeps going through. I'm not going to go through every line, but he finally has his realization. He's not yet. It's not too late. This time, I swear, I'll never lose her again. Show that page, and it's fucking.
I did, but I'll do it
great
again.
drawing.
It's a beautiful, beautiful page. It's one of the reasons I like. This is one of my favorite parts of Berserk. Period.
Frederick,
because you need some light in this.
By the way, story. This is so fucking well. It's so like he managed to make it look really fucking 3D and pop off the page. That drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the beam of light, the whole thing. It's just fantastic, man.
Yeah, it all works together. You get the perspective, the light, the contrast, the inking, just to give you that illusion. And it's not even in color. It's not even in color yet.
Yeah, we like Millennium Falcon drawings later on for the rest of the series are really, really fucking good. But Conviction, I just love overall. The paneling, his writing is top fucking notch throughout this whole arc so far.
And then we have go to Odo coming out to be a boss, a dying old man. He's like, you can't handle this, sucker. I can do it.
When we start the next chapter, Puck is like trying to get away from Erica because she's
insistent.
Yeah, she's sucking on his head and she has the inner mind of the lemon.
It's so funny, dude. I love that panel.
And then Rickard's
just like, let me go.
Yeah, Rickard, Puck comes out and he's like, gets away from her and he goes up to Rickard. And that's where you get that scene of where he's talking with Rickard and he's like, I can help you. And then Rickard's like, no, I got it. Don't get near me.
He's like, I can help you.
And then basically Rickard's like, it's good that you're around Guts. You can actually make Guts laugh. And
I'm pretty good at being a kid's plaything.
Yeah.
What a weird thing to say.
Yeah, Rickard says when Guts rushed out of here, I had the ominous bad feeling. Of course, I was worried about whether he would survive and I'd get to see him again. But I also worried about whether he'd no longer be the Guts I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, thank you, Puck. You kept him. I think it was you who kept him from going fully crazy.
And the Puck's like, anyway, moving on.
Yeah, the reason Guts can still laugh is because you're together with him. And then Puck gets all embarrassed and shit. And then pulls out a fucking power tool.
Oh, yeah. Like, what's that line? It's a weird one.
He says, all right, I'll power up and help too. I've got a built-in drill and cutter. And then Rickard's like, drill?
Yeah, that's the part. I was like, that's kind of sus, Mira. A little sus. I mean, the way the character is drawn is already pretty sus. Anyway,
are you talking about the page I showed Otter? This is so fun rereading because I can pick up on a lot more details now. One of them, like, there's a drawing of Puck where I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, some of the drawings are very, like, almost, in fact, like, a large majority of his drawings are very...
Yeah, but this one was like Puck, like, sitting sideways and his ass was just in frame. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But Godo shows up and he's like, yeah, fuck off, kid. I'm gonna be the one to fix the sword.
Get out of here, scrub. Let the man do it.
Yeah, and then he tells Rickard, he's like, yeah, Erica's your responsibility. And then basically says that Erica's not his actual daughter. It's just a girl that he found from a burnt house and stuff from war. And he just took her in. And I love this where he's like, I'd let It let me, who known nothing but steel since the day I was born, feel pretty well human. Then he continued on, go, but then, sure enough, when it's time to die, it's good to lean into it alone. But he's gonna fix Guts' sword, and then tells Rickard to tell Guts, don't turn out like me. Yeah, enjoy, have family, be there for people. Don't just dedicate yourself to, you know.
Also, I knew the next portion of the story is going to get rough because I'm like, well, crap. Guts just he finally got some rest. He had some contemplation. All his gear has been fixed and remade, and
after
even
2
better than
years, you
before.
get 1 night to sleep. Now go back to hell.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
gets
pretty much.
his sword gets redone, his new arm gets redone. He gets a new crossbow, which you'll see later on in Conviction. He also has new armor. It has different shoulder pads now.
It's lighter.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Mura just really. I think Mura likes drawing armor because he seems like he goes out of his way to draw really nice new armor.
Yeah, nice intricate armor with ornamentation. It's like very detailed. I was looking
He's
at,
like,
especially
how many lucky stars can I put on this one? All
and
of
it's
them. Yeah.
a whole army with like detailed armor. Not just one dude.
So after he gets all that armor and stuff, and he's like, "Wow, good stuff." That's his response to it.
Gus is like, "Wow, that's great." Anyway, thanks,
yeah, he's
guys.
also like, "Is there a holy ground around here?"
Hold on.
or,
Can we,
a
like this?
gathering of
Like this is
shepherds.
like when I say sus drawings of Puck. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but to be fair, that one was supposed to be sus.
I know, but still, that's
But he's
like
basically like, is there anywhere where there's going to be a witch trial? And then Rickard's like, yeah, there's like Saint Albion where like refugees are and shit. And
But
Not
Casca
like
surely
Mike.
could not be there, obviously.
and then Guts is
Hang on.
smiling when he brings up when they're talking about Casca, and he's like, it's beyond me, but a lot's happened for him to make this face. What kind of woman is this Casca? And that's why he's doing the sus pose.
Also, you're also him basically telling the blacksmith, "I'm gonna need you again someday. You can't go dying on me."
Yeah, he
He's
said,
like,
"You're
"Fine."
a good blacksmith. I'll count on you again once I get back." And then Godo's like, "So you say, worthless fool."
and I like that shows his slot. Damn near killed me.
Yeah. Well, and he's basically like, he off he goes without even a look back. That's how it is with that fool. This might be our final parting, but you haven't even got the time to stop and acknowledge it. Well, it's a lot better than getting all gloomy.
Again, like Frederick, you mentioned it. He loves drawing armor. Holy sweet mother and Moses, dude.
Yeah, so we jumped to a month before, in which we're picking up with Farnese, Serpico, and Azon.
Can I say something real quick? Because I'm about to leave. I love Godo so much that
he's legit.
And it's weird. He got a happy ending. He died peacefully sleeping with someone he loved. And Berserk. You know
he's
what
not
I mean?
dead yet.
Well, he's not dead yet, so I don't know that, but possibly.
So, it's beautiful. It was beautiful reading it for the first time and then getting to this part of the story. It basically got me to continue reading, right? Because this is before Game of Thrones or the first Law trilogy and all that, where I just came to expect everything to end in shit,
Yeah.
But with this part of the story in Berserk, and it's like, no, okay, Rosine's dead. That's sad. It was horrible, but Guts got his groove back on. He has a purpose outside of demons to fight for, and now a little bit more hope is sprinkled in to keep me going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really did need it at this point in the story, I think. What about you guys? Because
the series,
and then
it's
got
like
really dark for a while.
This is the pacing.
It
right?
legitimately tricks you in thinking. What is that, Frederick?
Oh, I was just saying that it's like the pacing. Like you got to get out of the horror and the hell sometime to breathe a little bit of air and let the story air out and let everyone, kind of take in what they just went through.
Well, also, Lost Children is your bridging gap, getting you back into Black Swordsman Guts because you had, for a lot, what is it? Like almost 10 volumes worth of you been with a younger Guts, more happy, jokey Guts. And you kind of, got to ease you back into the Guts we left off in Black Swordsman, the first arc.
Yeah, the one who bedded a demon just in order to get close enough to cut her head off. That guy.
Yeah, to blow her
head off. Blow her head off.
And I think Lost Children is a great transition piece into the main parts of Conviction, and it also kind of give us the full circle of where Black Swordsman would lead to, where that type of attitude Guts had in the first arc and the first part of the story, kind of where that lifestyle and what he's been doing would lead to eventually.
That mentality, philosophy. It's like, in part, it's like he needed that in order to survive in some way, but he also made the wrong choice in leaving.
Right.
Well,
I'll be back.
That's my final word on the whole thing. You guys enjoy the evening with the rest of the manga, and please, you, my fellow strugglers, keep on struggling.
All right, so back to where we were at. You have Serpico just being like all the refugees they're migrating, and basically explaining that the Holy Iron Chain Knights are just noble heirs, like pussies. They don't really do anything. Their family just spends money.
These guys are frauds.
And I love the Farnese thing where the she's in front of the religious council after the embarrassment of the stuff with Guts earlier, in which they're like, yeah, but you got like we let you go after the Black Swordsman for 2 years, and then you got him, and then he got away, and then you also had a bunch of the noble soldiers get killed. Hold on, where was it? Yes, but my Holy Iron Chain Knights are in a fashion yet an army. Basically, they're just a fucking showpiece. They're not really meant to go to battle and stuff, because the whole point is the nobles give the big donations to the church so their heirs can.
Yeah, it's rich kids avoiding battle, but having the kind of false valor.
Right, and then they're just meant to look pretty, and then the leader of the Holy Iron Chain Knights is a woman, a maiden woman, just for show. She's basically a fucking diversity hire.
It's virtue signaling.
Yeah, and the only reason she wasn't exiled or really punished, that really punished, was because her family is fucking mega rich. That's why. Like her family's like one of the richest people in the world. And that they and then they also go on talking about the vision they had of the Hawk of Light. And then it cuts back to Farnese being like, miracles, the Hawk of Light. I've seen no such things. She thinks back to rape horse. And she's like, yeah, that was no way.
She thinks back to rape horse, and she also thinks back to where she's humping the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, she's like, I couldn't have. It didn't exist. No. So she's guarding the Inquisitor. And we end up with basically it's Father Mozgus, one of the most notorious fucking Inquisitors out there. Here's his name. It just ain't any Inquisitor either. See those 4 red wheels hosted above the carriage? That's the token of the bloody scripture Mozgus. They're like, all the villagers are like, holy shit, this dude, like, he murders, tortures people.
Anybody who is a sinner in his eye is going to have all their bones broken, and then are going to be lashed around a wheel. and hung up for the
Yes.
crows to pick out their entrails.
Yeah, and we end the chapter with people with crossbows about to attack the carriage, and then they do attack it and everything. It doesn't go well for them. One of them opens the door to the carriage, and he has a fucking claw thing weapon, like hit him right in the face. Two other ones get cut in half with the. Do you know what that is? Read out what that's supposed to be. It's a tool.
I'm trying to recall. I'm trying to remember
They're like
the
twin saw blades.
Read out frequency or not frequency. Frederick, pull out your copy. And you can show it.
Hold on.
Another one of them pulls out a dude's eyeballs with the tweezer things, whatever the fuck they are.
Oh boy!
A big giant one picks up
They're like pliers.
Yeah, a big giant one picks up a wheel and just smashes somebody. Another one. Another
Talking
one.
about
here,
the
right?
dogs again, or what?
What?
Talking about the dogs. What's going on here?
No, we're talking about Father Moss.
No, we're talking about the Inquisitors.
Yeah. I remember when I saw those guys. I was just.
This here, right?
So their attempt to kill Father Moscus doesn't go well.
Is this what you were
Father
talking about, Billy Bob?
Huh?
Is this the one you were talking about?
No, the other one, the two dudes that are using like the weird thing. I know it's a tool, but I don't know what.
They
Show
look like
off
saw
here.
blades that you would use to saw down a tree or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, or
Yeah.
small trees,
Christian?
but yeah.
Show off the group. Father Moscus and his torture
The
minions.
Torture crew.
the Lord doth revere silence.
I also
Don't
love
scream.
how Father Moscus is drawn here. He has like the best expressions just for how symmetrical his face is made out to
Yes.
be.
And he's not an apostle.
That's the problem.
Yep.
None of them are apostles. They're 100% human, and their design is great. Because you would think, oh, these are fucking like probably apostles or something.
I like how we just have the Hulk with a mask on in the background also.
Yeah, and then Farnese comes up simping to him, being like, oh, she's sorry, and then begging us for forgiveness. And Father Mosk is like, oh, it's all fine, you know. Then he,
I'm a reasonable man. Kill all of them in the most horrible way possible. Yes.
Well, he does this. So I would hear the reason you attacked me. And the one dude's like, revenge. You accused our village of being a refugee for heretics. And while the men were working away from home, you burned all the remaining villagers to death, women and children. No one was left. And then his response is, it is certainly a misfortune that such a thing happened. But I was following God's doctrine. In that, I passed judgment fairly. And then
Also, his face changes a little bit between that panel and the next.
Just
as
little.
Billy Bob has demonstrated.
Yeah, and then the dude responds going, what was fair about it? All we did was suggest that we temporarily suspend our offerings to the church since our food stores have hit rock bottom from the famine. And you arbitrarily, it's divine punishment. God's wrath is upon you. And then that's when Father Moscus gets really pissed because he was speaking the word of God.
You dare speak of judgment?
Yeah,
power of the book compels you.
He hits the dude with the fucking book and kills him. Show
Like,
the page.
Count the number of veins on his face too.
Impossible challenge. He looks like one of the
face of Stonewall Mosgas.
he looks like a character from R.H. Snow's Wasteland, like a mutant.
He does.
Show
He
the word
really
also,
does.
in the head.
Also, I don't think this guy is doing too well. Just saying.
Well, it's like his eyeballs are like popping out or just about there.
Yeah, he's basically saying none of you fucking peasants should be speaking the word of God. That's for priests. Not
You misguided fool! Wax him again.
And then Farnese. Oh, by the way, Farnese has a little bit of blush going on.
Oh, bet your ass.
Yep.
Under drawing of seeing that.
Yeah, it's easy to miss the first time reading, but hey, she's a sadist.
Yes. And then he basically
hold on. I'm going to replace the words on this panel. Dost thou even lift?
But he basically asked Farnese, what's the punishment for trying to murder a priest? And she's like, well, you can burn them or, breaking on the wheel.
But we may not have time.
Yeah, Father Mosk is like, we don't have time. Plus, they're guilty, so I'm going to pass sentence. Yeah, death by wheel. And then you get the scene of the dude getting his legs broke, his arms broke. And Farnese is, it's getting her going.
Her blush is spreading.
She's literally taking off her helmet.
She's like, is it hot for anyone else in here? It's just me.
Even Serpico is noticing.
This woman needs God. She needs to find God.
Listen, Farnese is fucking great.
Y'all need Jesus.
All need Jesus.
Like I said, it's so funny because me and Otter and then Stormcrow all know where Farnese is going later on. And we love her. She's great.
And then one of the victims is approached by a certain hot.
Yeah, I love this.
Is here again.
So we get introduced to Luca, the fucking hot redhead prostitute. The dude ends up running into a woman because he's trying to run away. And the one night is basically saying, accusing her.
You want to be killed too?
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah, she's going every time.
It's like,
so he's like,
do you want to be judged as a sinner in God's eyes? And she's like, hey guys.
Yep. And then I love this part where he's like, what? She's crazy? Come on. And then the other dude's saying, have mercy. And then Lucas says, you don't go for revenge if you're not ready to die, wimp. Kicks him away. And then basically she's telling her name and then leading Casca with her.
I do legitimately love Luca as a character, though.
I do too. I love the way that she employs Casca as well, which I think is hilarious. But
well, she's actually protecting Casca when she finds out.
I know why. I know why she's doing it, but I still think it's really, really funny. Also, hey guys, my name's Casca.
Yeah, so now we're officially at Potato Casca arc.
Potato Casca.
Yes, she's Potato Casca. Dude,
I'm Potato Casca. Do you guys want any yum yum?
Well, she can't talk. She goes, And then
Christ.
We open up with the Kushan Scouts part, which we get introduced to Isidro. Now, I like Isidro. I know some people really do not like his character, but I like him. He's a little fucking like asshole, comic relief.
He's just Guts if Guts had a slightly better childhood.
Yeah.
Isidro is like putting a shonen protagonist in the world of Berserk. That's who Isidro is.
Yeah, the bandits are like robbing him for his food, and he gives them the food, and then he's like, he holds up like a vial, and he's like, "This stuff really works. Sure was expensive." All the fucking bandits.
Also, he was choosing to he gave him poisoned food and drink just to try to teach them a lesson, not to kill them, just to try to teach them a lesson. It's like, you guys can be better people now.
Oh
right?
yeah, I love this. He knocks out the one dude, the big dumb idiot bandit, and he's like, "Don't call me punk. The name's Isidro. Relax, it's non-lethal poison. You'll live, I think."
Probably.
You guys should take this chance to quit this gig and go straight. You really suck.
Also, he tries to weasel his way out of this with
and he's like, "See ya," and then the rest of the fucking bandit crew show up. And then he's
and then he tells a lie that turns out not really a lie.
It's not really a lie.
They're all like, "Oh, is it Kushan? Like, what happened?" And then he just starts acting like a little kid, crying, fake or trying to fake. He doesn't even produce tears. He's thinking to himself that he really does want to cry. He can. And then,
hold up, boy.
Yeah, he almost gets away. But then one dude's like, "This is pretty weird. If the Kushan army was here,
we would have heard them.
Your hooves. And look, the guys on the ground don't have any sword wounds. And hey, Yeah.
Look, they're over there. And then the guy gets killed. It's like, wait.
Yeah, and he's like, who are you, boy? If the Kushan came, why are you the only one all right? And he's like, oh, well, look, I'm a child. And they're like, the Kushan don't show mercy to even kids. So where are the Kushan? And he tries to distract them, and well, the one dude gets hit in the fucking face.
Hey, he's over there, and then the guy immediately gets hit in the head.
Yeah, and then real Kushan actually show up. Now, specifically the Baki Raka with Salat, the Kushan dude that Guts fight at the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And the first when they met up with the Band of the Hawk, that's his people. Yeah, and the fucking Kushan scouts are just they're killing the living shit out of these bandits. And Isidro almost gets killed.
I think killing is too strong a word. They kill them in one move each, and they're done.
Yes.
I also like how it's like Mura kind of goes the extra mile by showing how exotic their weapons are, because everybody's dying in like it's not like the bloodiest way they've ever died, but it's like just really strange ways. Like they're tossing like razor sharp discs that are going right through their skull or something like that.
Also, some of their weapons are not practical, like at all.
No.
Well, keep
very
in mind,
practical weaponry.
Keep in mind, this is the Baki Raka clan. This isn't just the normal Kushans. These are specifically an assassin's guild.
I declare us the Baki Raka. Baki Raka, Baki Raka.
So they're going to have weird weapons, and they're highly skilled. But Isidro almost gets killed, but it stops when Guts just fucking walks up.
He rolls up, bro. He's like, I got a new sword and a new hand. I have the same cloak, bitch.
By the way, I love the cloaks. Going like early Golden Age and stuff, and even a little bit later, he wasn't as good as drawing cloaks. But like now, he's getting really, really good at drawing how it flows.
He's like, I could have given Guts a new cloak, but it wouldn't look as cool.
Plus, also, I love how the cloak reflects his journey. It's all shredded at the ends, ripped up, torn. There's holes in it.
It makes him look larger and more monstrous than normal, which is hard to do with a man like Guts.
Yeah, I love how the Isidro's like, who is he? He's walking this way. And the Kushan are just murmuring to each other. And they go to attack Guts. And, well,
they make the mistake of jumping in the air.
Matter of fact, we have a page where Guts is winding up
There's
his
your
attack.
first mistake.
Yeah, we have the first page where Guts is winding up his attack.
Oh, like they've already jumped. They have no way to dodge. It's over.
Yeah. Then we have the double page show it.
Hold on.
It's like wind up, swing, and then effect.
Yep, and then another double page with the
real end result. It's like, man, it would be hard to animate. No, it's not. He's done the keyframes for you. Bro, holy crap.
I love how Guts' response, what's the big idea? Jumping me. Didn't think I'd get to try it out so soon with using the Dragon Slayer, the new.
Look how satisfied he is as like baby's brand new.
And then, of course, Isidro was just blown away by Guts' Dragon Slayer and how he killed him.
Well, hell, you see the eyes of the other Boopin Rappa or whatever the hell they're called.
The Baki Raka.
The Baki Raka. They're like,
oh,
we're all like, oh shit, we're fucked.
Yeah, show the next page after he does the posing. Oh yeah,
they're like, fuck.
Show the one where he punches the other Kushan in the fucking face.
Oh yeah, they go to attack. He's like, I don't even have to like swing my sword. I got a metal fist. He looks annoyed. No need to talk, huh? Bam.
Oh, and then Puck shows up with the Isidro and he says, "Here, head down and don't move." This is the problem with kids.
Oh, I like how Puck is coming around to Guts' way of thinking. He's like, I've done this a few dozen times already. I think I'm starting to get the program.
Oh, you need to show the page where he's surrounded and they all go to attack and Guts just fucking flings himself up in the air with the sword.
Oh, dude. I love that. I love that, dude.
Such a cathartic page or two.
They're like, wait.
Yeah, and the side panels are really good because you have him up in the air, upside down. Then it's him going down. The Kushans reacting to it, and then
and
see the motion of his mouth.
then guts being guts.
Yeah, you're just slicing through them.
This is why big guys swing big sword, bad guys go die. I
love
tired
the
of
part
it.
after this where you have a Cedro going, hey, and then in the background you have Puck going, hey kid, you got food on you? Liquor too? I can smell that. I can smell that you're hiding them. They'll do his thing, so don't sweat it. While Cedro is saying awesome about guts.
Also, the way awesome is spelled, they added the extra M's, and I don't know why, but it's funny.
Yeah, and then guts after that is just like let's go, Puck, and then the next page is Puck carrying all the food, liquor.
He's like trying to fly. His whole body is just weighed down by like grapes, sausages, and liquor.
Yeah. By the way, in the next deluxe volume has my funniest fucking Puck joke in the manga, or in this arc.
Also, we got a couple guys who definitely, I think they're injecting steroids straight into their foreheads, but
yeah, Guts
Very
is
likely.
Cedro
more
follows.
Rocky Raka.
And then we have the what are they called? The Tapas Masters of the Baki Raka.
Oh yeah, that's right. Also, what always got me, it's not necessarily kind of like how roided out they are. Look at it's like their knuckles and everything. They've got like massive calluses all over like certain joints.
I've argued with people about this. I'm like, I've met people with calluses like this.
So their whole thing is supposed to be that they can do extreme powerful punches and all this other shit with their channeling, whatever, with them dudes. But they're led by, of course, Salat, the dude from the Golden Age tournament.
And he looks fabulous.
Yeah, he's basically being like, don't go after Guts. Like, maybe we can kill him, but it's going to cost too much losses. And then he's like, regardless, there is but one thing we must do now. Search for the land of
Oracle. Surely that won't come up again.
Yeah, I'm sure it has nothing to do with Griffith.
Right now, the thing Guts
is
going
Albion at the Tower of Conviction.
And then Guts is like, all right, it's time for my Naruto run.
Yep, he's fucking sprinting. And then we end the chapter with Casca over the looming shadow of the Tower of Conviction, which is a really good page.
It is a good page. It's like whenever they show the tower, they don't show the tower. They show its dark silhouette, like a dark creature over the land.
And then, of course, we open up the next one with the Tower of Shadow, in which we get to see humanity in a really bad place. We get to see a priest that his skin has been stripped out, and he's being put on a thing. By the way, I want to say this. It's not, I don't think it's, I think it's pretty clear that it's the heretics aren't actually the ones doing the priest thing.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, but also, they're showing empty bowls of food, families starving around fires, kids fighting for food, fighting over rats.
Eyes. You have mysterious eyes watching over throughout the rest of this.
I have noticed that. It's been pissing me off.
So there's a reason. I want to ask you a question. So there's an apostle at the Tower of Conviction. What did the eyes remind you of?
Different things at different times. For a minute, I thought it might be the eyes of like Casca and Guts' child, but I don't think that's what they are now.
Does it remind you of anything significant when it comes to apostles?
I'm not gonna tell you. I'm just saying, look at its eyes. It's very reminiscent of something, Christian.
I know, it's pissing me off. I've been seeing these eyes everywhere, and I'm like, I've seen these before.
You have panels where it's slowly watching things throughout it, and you can see it in the backgrounds, like little shadow versions of it running and watching. But you have humanity pretty bad right now. This refugee at St. Albion. You have children fighting over rats, dead people. You have a people storming one of the food carts and running off, and then Farnese and them show up to break it up.
Storming is a strong word. They are aggressively begging at the most.
Yeah, and basically they're like, we can't not fed. We're not getting enough food. And then Farnese is like, we've called on the Holy See for provisions, medical supplies, and other commodities. You aren't the only one suffering. And then
As
that's
she's
when
sitting there well fed on her horse.
Yeah. Then you have the woman who shows, I beg you, this child hasn't even strength left to nurse. He's on the brink of death. He needs God's divine protection. And it does actually catch Farnese off guard with that.
Yep. And then the father comes in. What a great guy. What a generous, giving, holy man
He's got a very warm expression.
Father Moscas shows up on a horse and he's like, very well then. In light of your boldness, God shall show his mercy.
Yo, guys, Wrangler, he's going to work out this late at night. That's pretty impressive. Got to hit the rack. Have a good night, guys.
Do you even lift,
there just bench pressing.
Yeah, and then Farnese says, Father Moscas, but what of discipline? He's like, I've considered that too naturally. But the facts that I happen to be here, that she broke the law for her own child and that she was captured before me are surely all by God's guidance. I say love need not know fear. Her self-sacrificing pure love shall find reward. And he's basically
your duty as a believer awaits.
Yeah, the woman, she's being really happy because he's showing mercy.
Also, I don't know about you, but this looks like the front of every church I've ever gone to.
Yeah, he gets there and the child gets fed, and basically the doctor's like, yeah, as long as he gets fed, he'll be fine. He'll make it for recovery. And then he's like, all right. Hold up. Here's how he does. He also tells her, I too have sent a letter requesting aid to the Holy See. It should reach them readily. Also, I'll try to convince the abbot to divide some portions of the offerings from before amongst the refugees. And the woman's, really happy. And he's like, I did nothing more than execute the will of God. I will see to it the child is returned to you later. And she's like, He's like, now come hither. Your duty as a believer awaits. And then you end up with the doors.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh.
Well, shit.
The first.
I cannot show any of this on stream.
Yeah, no, you cannot.
This is the only
like it's really fucking
room scene
or
you'll
something.
see in this arc. Next deluxe volume has quite a bit of them. So you think this is one-off thing? No.
Nope.
So his torturers are torturing all these people, and every imaginable torture device you can think is being shown. You have a woman being put on a pyramid, sat on it,
in it, on top of it, through it.
Yes.
A man with a fire on a wheel, with little spike things going into his back while he rolls across it, like the back rollers, but with spikes. A clamp on the head, a clamp on a woman's chesticles.
It's kind of the scene from the History of Torture Museum.
Yeah, he basically tells he's like, Farnese, this is the first time you've been in here. This is the environs of the Albion Monastery, comprised now of a den of sinners. The garden of this holy house where God's will is studied. It's deplorable. Thieves, rapists, murderers, and above all, heretics.
Do you like it?
And Farnese turns away, and Father Moscas goes, thou shalt not avert thine eyes. And it has the best, there's like two of the best panels of like Father Moscas's face.
He is not human looking.
No, not at all. It's like one is like completely stone faced, like glaring. The next is just pure like unfettered ecstasy. And both look completely unnatural.
You have him do that, and then you cut back to the rest of the torture scene with all the people, and he's like, this hellish spectacle is one aspect of the Holy See to which you belong. God does not rain benevolence alone upon this earth. He is also a strict arbiter. And the fucking one lady is obviously scared, and he says, thou shalt not flee. Your love and courage, which led you to violate the law while trying to save your child, should be is that extolled?
Yeah, anxiously.
Wait. Should be extolled.
Extolled.
Yeah, extolled.
But sin is sin. And then he's crying, and he's saying, you possess such courage. I do so want you to overcome this trial provided by God.
Christian, can you show these panels up on the... Well, no. God,
he can show the one where he's crying and stuff. That one he can show. There's no nudity.
Carefully, because the other side is just...
Yeah, it's like the top of each page is what I'm like trying to focus on. Bring it down just a little. A bit more. There we go.
That's Father Mosgus when he's talking and saying all this stuff. And he's so they strap that woman down and she's getting her feet burned. And then Farnice is really enjoying it. Really happy with a little smirk.
She really likes people being on fire.
Actually, she doesn't blush in once.
She
in
is
this
not
entire
blushing
portion.
here. This is one thing I noticed while I was rereading.
Yeah.
Normally, it's like if the sadist side of her is getting into it, she's blushing a bit. She is not blushing here.
She has not blushed once in this whole
smiling. I'm
portion.
sorry.
She is smiling, but it looks like she's putting on a face.
Yeah, I agree with Otter.
So we open the next chapter with one dude was he's saying he was accused of killing the priest, and he's getting really pissed because anyone who goes into there for a confession never comes back out safe. And then the woman before who got tortured, yeah, her child's dead now.
Yeah, but upsets me, man.
Yep, and then Farnice is once again shocked, and the other dude's screaming that he'll kill everyone that set him up. And then you cut to Luca basically just giving the state of affairs of how bad it is. And then you got Jerome, the dude who's banging her. He's one of the Holy Iron Chain Knights soldiers.
He is such a sucker too, dude. Oh, cripes.
Yeah, but she actually does kind of like him. That's the thing too.
Well, yeah, all the best ones do. That's the truth.
Like she's not completely playing him for a fool, and he's not.
No, but then Casca appears.
Yeah, he's banging her, and I love his thing where she was doing her dialogue when she was looking at the tent, and he's like, "Hey, how about a little bit of focus?" And that's where he's banging the shit out of her, and then he's basically saying that no one fucking likes Farnice. She's crazy. She wants to really impress Father Mosgus. It's pathetic. And then Casca
comes in with the best face of all time. The angriest bird you've ever seen. And then he screams, she screams, Luca's completely fine.
Yeah, I like how Luca's just like, uh-oh.
Elaine, this is the work tent.
Yeah. I love how he says, "Ha, that scared me limp."
He has a very different reaction to things than me. Moving on.
Then he asks us about her bandages, in which Luca's like, "Yeah, she's crazy. She basically got syphilis and went mad."
And he's like, not for me.
Yeah. And then he gives her a necklace, and he's like, "Yeah,
and food.
Yeah, I won't marry you, but you'll be my mistress, and I'll take care of you. Also, I'll get a good doctor for your sister." Then Luca waves off and shit. And then her friends show up with a little fucking dirty whore behind her.
I know.
Oh,
and
God.
She's pretending like she's just another one of them.
Yeah, she's just another face for now.
Yeah, and then
she's not even in the front. She's behind them most of the time.
Yeah, she divides up the food with the other girls, and also she basically gives a whole speech and divides up the pearls that he gave her, that necklace, to divide them up with them.
Also, I'm looking at some of these girls. Ain't no way they're all of advanced age.
No, they're all definitely they're definitely don't question age. Just don't think about it.
Yeah. Don't think about it, Morty.
I feel
Unless
like
you think about it, the better.
I feel like this whole section of conviction arc is kind of showing you it's showing you like both the seedier side of humanity, but it's also showing kind of like what's necessary for them to actually make a decent living. It's fucked up for sure, but it also feels real in a way.
Yeah, Luke is basically just
She's
telling
a really interesting character.
Like, you do not get greedy. Share everything around, because if you don't, first of all, we're prostitutes. Second of all, people get jealous if you have too much and look down on you if you have too little. So make sure everyone's happy around you so you don't get turned in, especially since they're in the middle of a heretic hunt. With,
Also, a lot of Casca, in lieu of having real dialogue, has some of the funniest facial expressions in this part
they
of
get
the
better.
story.
They get a lot better.
Yeah, basically, I love how you had the one joke where she's telling him to spread the food around with the neighbors and stuff, and then the other girls are counting the pearls that she broke, and they're like 1, 2, 3. There's one missing, and then Luca just pops Casca's head because she found one of them was chewing on it, and knocks the bandages off Casca's face, and she puts them on, and then you have the worst part of being a prostitute, the ugly fucking men, because one dude shows up.
That is not
and
the worst
remember
part.
this face. You'll see him later.
Yeah, and then Luca tells Nina to go get like stuff for take
just
care of
another
everyone's bill in
another
Elaine.
poor girl. Yeah, just another
She's
poor girl.
completely innocent. Trust me.
And then
No one with
Luca
hair
also,
like that would be evil or weird.
Also, Luca gives Nina some remedy that she got. She basically blew or had sex with the doctor to give it to Nina. Then they leave off, and then oh god, the scene.
The old man is just
Yeah, it's like an ugly fucking man. And then we cut to with Nina and them going up on the hill, and everyone's fucking pelting a dude with rocks, a heretic.
Now, first time I saw this panel, I couldn't tell if that was a man or a child. It is
It's
a
a
man,
man.
but
It's a man.
it was a confusing panel.
Yes, and everyone's having to throw it. Like you have a little mother telling her son to throw it because if you don't, people.
You don't want to look like a heretic.
What I love
Yeah,
is
Nina
like,
was one to go away, but then she noticed people were starting to look at her, so she threw a rock.
yeah, and none of this is told to you. It's all shown. It's all visual storytelling, and I love how it's presented.
Also,
then,
hawk.
Yeah, then we end up with this crazy priest. By the way, this is something that comes up. You see him later on in the heretic cult, by the way. Old man. Yeah, yes. You see him later on in the heretic cult when they're doing the orgy scene, and he has the bird. You can see it's him. Also, he shows up in the next deluxe volume in the heretic cult. He's one of the leaders. By the way, he was never always a heretic. He used to be an actual priest, but Father Mozgus and all their like religious zealotry actually turned him into a heretic, because you have this story from Old Man while Nina's going by, in which he says it's a pity. He used to be friendly priest who'd go around talking to us poor folk, but he's been like that ever since he got hauled in on suspicion of spreading heresy.
Yep. Every worst portion of humanity is present and accounted for at this point.
Oh, and Nina is washing in the lake, and there's blood coming out of her vagina.
Why do you pause so long?
The pause made it worse.
It's a cesspit of fucking crime and villainy that bitch has, you know.
Never before has there been a worse. Never mind.
Yeah, she's
Worst
saying
hive
the
of
bleeding
scum and
won't
villainy,
go.
and it's just a
There you
panel of
go.
Nina.
Yeah, it's mixed with pus too, and the insides of my mouth is swollen. Maybe I'm done for.
Gee, kids, maybe she has a sexually transmitted disease. Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, she's like getting, she's like terrified of, being in the shadow of the Tower of Conviction and God and all this, and that she's scared.
Nina, what did I tell you about getting them STDs?
That dirty little sinner told her not to stand in the shadow.
Yeah, she's just scared of everything, and then we end with Casca looking out, and the corpses are starting to rise.
Also stacking rocks like a nerd.
Oh, and also that's really so the reason why the spirits are rising up, even though it's daytime, is because as long as it's shadow or dark is where they're allowed to come and fester. But we end up with the spirits possessing the dead, rotten corpses, and screaming about how they kept praying, pain, sacrifice, warm body, cursing.
And
God.
Nina's just like, you crazy fam, I'm out.
Well, she doesn't. They don't notice that at all. One of them, but you see a pair of goggles looking. I've goggle vision, and you see the eyes again. You see them open. By the way, once again, really think about what those eyes remind you of. You've seen them before in the series.
I know, it's pissing me off, dude.
Yeah, they
and also
look
Guts and Casca's beautiful child.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those
the
eyes, they
beautiful
look a little
child is
sad.
protecting Casca, by the way.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's protecting Casca.
I think he's tried to help Guts a couple times too, but Casca obviously needs help more.
Yeah, I mean he's not evil. That's the thing. He's genuinely and actually just wants to be with his mother and father. But he's protecting Casca from the spirits and stuff and causing them to leave. And then Casca, of course, recognizes that the baby's there. So she tries to go for it, but Nina takes it away. Oh, show the page with Farnese, with the eyes and
yeah, I was gonna say I need to show that. That's such a good image.
By the way, were they using a tool to do that cross hatching on this fucking building?
You mean on like the dome
Frederick?
for the tower?
Yeah, kind of how like they do Zipatone.
I'd have to look at my copy. It's too small.
Yeah, I mean, it causes me PTSD because them boxes are so small. I just think of how much time that took to do the cross
Because
hatching on
he
that.
uses a mix of both techniques fairly often.
Yeah, well, the Zipatone and the other ones he uses less and less throughout the series.
Okay, yeah, there's definitely Zipatone gray, but like it's all hatched over on top of the Zipatone.
Yeah, it's hatched. It's hatched supreme.
I've seen those eyes before.
You have Farnese thinking about that mother and her dead child, and you have Jerome talking shit.
I'm looking at her. To me, it's more like, no one's gotten tortured recently. How am I going to get off?
No, because the next page she's literally shows the image of the mother. And stuff.
I know. Shush.
Now she wants to burn some people.
Let me make a fucking joke.
Well, basically, Jerome's talking shit. Serpico acts like he drops his food.
So they're like, oh, so clumsy. He's like, yeah. Anyway.
And then they go and meet they're going to meet Father Mozgus, and they meet his torture people, which you have the two ones playing with birds and feeding them meat and kissing them.
So this is
it's biting his damn lip.
Yes.
What kind of play is this?
Kissing him. And then you have the one that's the plague doctor one is the one talking to Farnese, and he's basically like, or he has a skin condition where he burns in the sun.
Yeah, he's a freaking vampire.
Yeah, that's what I was like. So you're a vampire, right?
Yeah, we were all shunned by society and like the lowest of the low, and Father Mozgus just so happened to find us, and we owe everything to him, and it was great and all this other stuff. Also, he doesn't enjoy his work. He doesn't enjoy hurting people, but he's like, but I have to. It's for God,
Also, I'm going to mention something about Serpico. Serpico reminds me of another character that a lot of people may recognize. He reminds me a lot of Ling from Full Metal Alchemist in a lot of ways.
Weirdly, yeah. Man, the Asian eyes, the kind of non-caring attitude that's a mask for the deeply caring person underneath.
Yeah.
Oh, here we get to the best part with Father Mozgus when he takes him to Father Mozgus, and Father Mozgus is throwing his face down on the floor.
1,000 face plants daily.
Yeah, and then Farnese is even like, "What is he doing?" And he's like, "It's prostration." Father Mozgus repeats it morning and night 1,000 times a day.
I wish they hadn't said that, because I'm like, who has the time?
Dude, well, I mean, he's a religious zealot. I bet you he sleeps like fucking 2 hours every night.
And he's like, I can sustain myself off of God's power.
Have you looked at Father Mozgus?
I have.
He looks like a boss in a video game.
He really does.
Yeah, he's been doing it for 10 years and he hasn't missed a day. And I love how Serpico is like, so this is the secret to behind that face.
Yeah. Snarky little shit.
Yeah, then you have Father Mozgus. Oh, by the way, this is a very, very important dialogue.
Oh, the proverb?
Well, his knees are bleeding and is getting wrapped up, but he says, it's said that a sage once imprisoned in this tower by the supreme King Geyserik continue to proclaim the sins of the king to God in the midst of every possible torture until in time angels were made to descend. Surely this holy ground has miraculous virtue. That's why he's really doing it more than he usually does it, the face thing. The reason why that's important, Void and Skull Knight, their story goes back 1,000 years. This is a direct thing that Mira has said.
Yep.
Now, we know that King Geyser's kingdom was destroyed by the God Hand. It's very clear. 4 or 5 angels. 5 angels. The only ones that are actually referred to angels are, of course,
the God Hand.
God Hand. And you'll get more evidence to that. But that's something you actually need to remember is that little bit right there. Because that might be who Void was.
Yeah, he's dropped hints throughout this story, kind of pointing out. I'm like, that sounds pretty familiar.
Yeah, and then Farnese actually is trying to be like, are we doing like bad? Are we the baddies? That's her speech to Father. That's her question to Father.
Are we the
Are we the
baddies?
baddies?
Are we the baddies?
And she's like, are we like, doing really bad stuff? And he goes on to, and then he's like, he doesn't respond to her. He just says, I should tell you a story. It has nothing to do with anything. In ancient times, there was a holy woman who practiced poverty and devoted her entire
And
life.
one guy one time didn't want her help.
Yes.
End. What a useless proverb.
And then he goes after he does that story that has really nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I feel like he could have told any story that would have. Yeah, any story could have been better than that one.
His thing is this: we do not know what is enough to save a person. Perhaps it's all the more in God's hands for that. And more than anything, our actions are not based on other people or ourselves. All is within these scriptures. For God and God alone do we act.
He's really saying, he's having a roundabout way of saying, don't question what I'm doing.
Respect my authority.
Well, he literally says, thou shalt not deplore distressing duties. Thou shalt not deplore the people's misunderstandings. Thou shalt not fear thine own death for the deaths of others. Thou shalt not seek reward for thine actions. Thou shalt not question God. Whatever blood we spill in spirit or flesh, as man, we continue to exist devotedly for God. That is what faith is about. Bullshit. And then Farnese, like, actually sinks to her knees. And is like,
she's like,
the beautiful scriptures.
Yeah, and he's like, may the Lord be with you. And he's like, all right, time to leave. And then Farnese is, this is where Serpico goes. Somehow that was shady, a flawless argument.
How was it
But then we get something really weird because Farnese is walking out and she's thinking on the words he said. And then at the very top of the building, there's a pair of eyes and something weird little shape running on the top of the roof.
Yep, I saw that too.
Is that another one of the God Hand by any chance?
No. It's an apostle.
And we're following everybody's favorite character, Miss Nina.
You guys were not kidding, dude.
Yeah,
okay.
You don't know where those lips have been.
Hold up.
Yes, I do.
So Casca's playing in the mud and stuff, and then Nina's getting her.
Casca's making mud
I like
pies.
the mud.
So Nina runs into Joachim. That is his name. I do not call him Joachim. I call him Roachim.
I call him.
That is his name. That's how we'll refer to him for the rest of this fucking video.
No,
Dude's
I don't know.
a simp.
Yeah.
That just makes you a beta cuck.
His name is Roachim. Refer to him as that from going forward. He's basically he's wanting to talk to her, and then she's basically like, right, what shape my body is in, or maybe and you still want to have me, customer. And he's basically like, I'm worried about you.
That just makes you a beta cuck.
Yeah, she tells him, I can't, those are kind words, but I can't give you any more freebies. He's hit this already, by the way, guys. Many times before.
That's nasty.
Yeah, and then he's basically like, no, that's not what I want. And then she just screams, then just have me already. And then she tells him, if you're really brave, come to the riverside tonight when the midnight bell tolls, and then leaves. And then is crying.
Hey, a prostitute just invited me to hang out in this really shady, deserted area at midnight. It'll be fine.
Yeah, and then he actually does show up, and she's really happy. You know,
that just makes you a beta cuck.
I'm sorry. Really every time
he first, Nina said, "Oh my god, he actually fell for this," and then
her first question to him is, "Answer me. Do you love me? Then can you lie with me? Can you die with me? Can you fall?"
If someone asks if they can, like, if someone you barely know asks if you can die with them, you say no.
He doesn't barely know her. That's the thing. He's hit it before. She's giving out freebies to him. She's a prostitute.
She's not just asking that. She's like, could you fall to hell if it was together with me?
Yes. This dude cannot pick up signals that something's wrong with this bitch.
Yeah, this ain't normal, man. And then he kisses that rotten, filthy mouth.
Then he gives him a little kiss, and then she's like, come with me, where you won't find scary God, the edge of the world. And then
I feel like that translation could have been altered a little bit. Something didn't translate well there.
I like how Luca is just like, oh no, what the fuck is Nina doing?
What didn't translate well for you, Christian?
Where you don't find scary God.
No,
the
where
edge
you
of the world.
Won't find scary God is what it's written.
Yeah, but it sounds dumb, dude. It should have been reworked. I don't know.
But you see,
also, Luca, they're not that sneaky because Luca and Dun Kuska are following.
Well, Luca's following. She's like, don't tell me. And she knows she's like taking him to the fucking orgy thing. And then Casca's following behind. So Luca's not even noticing that Casca, the retard, is behind her. And then you can show the final page of that where they're heading. There's no porn in it.
Yeah. I mean, there is if you look closely enough.
No. The final
Not
one.
that one.
The one
a few pages before that.
Oh, okay.
It's where the chapter ends.
Now, anyways, on to this.
Anyway, very safe for work.
Yeah. They
Flipping
arrive
through
at
that
it, and,
book is like
it is an orgy scene, and like people are dancing around the fire. Everyone's fucking. Dudes are getting blown. Chicks are getting ate out. And then we get the dialogue. Out of anxiety, out of fear, humans can't help but give shape to the vague. At the bottom of this cavern,
we call this one a Colorado rock slide.
It was an undulation of what a fucking. That's okay.
An undulation of flesh.
Yeah, I don't want to use the word undulation known as sin. And it's just one 2-page panel, another 2-page panel, and another 2-page panel.
And it's all porn.
Yeah, and it's just chicks sucking, getting railed, tit grabbing. You have dudes playing bagpipes.
Actually,
naked.
there's one position here that doesn't make sense, and it's
which one?
Look on the bottom of the page, just right of the middle. There's a couple body position things here that don't really line up.
No, he's fucking her from the side. Her legs.
Yeah, but then there's that girl who's folded there, and that guy who's somehow also it doesn't line up.
I don't know.
How did I end up here?
Oh, it's behind. It's probably behind them. It's probably behind them.
Are you talking about the chick who's blowing a dude and then getting railed?
No. The one next to that. It's behind them. I figured it out.
No, that's a chick with her. He's holding her legs up.
I know the position, Billy. That's not what I was wanting confirmation on. It looked at first glance like they're all in the same party, so to say, and it doesn't work out. If
they're just farther off in the background.
Oh man, listen to you guys argue about positions in an orgy is hilarious.
We see a soup thing being cooked, and there's a dude
like a blind man
head.
at an orgy. I was just gonna have to feel my way through.
Yeah, there's a horse dude who's he's
a horse.
1, 2, 3,
horse
4,
man.
5, or goat man.
What kind of? Yeah, I was gonna say what kind of horse. And Nina's like, "Hey, it's my spot."
Yeah, she's like, "Come on, let's go down." And then Luca's hiding in there, and she's like, "Oh, god damn it, she did take him to the orgy place." And how do I put this? they're lathering Nina up with drugs. She's making out with chicks. The chicks are undressing Roachim, and then they're opening up her.
That just makes you a beta cuck.
Yeah, they're opening up her vagina, and then he's banging her. You also see the eyes again, watching all the orgy stuff.
Yep, of course. And they're all just, you know.
By the way, they're high on drugs and they're all merging, and it's just merged flesh, and then Nina and Roachim in the middle, and he's like his hands going through her tit, and he's like it's an illusion. Also, in the campfire, you see Slan as a fire figure.
Yeah,
masturbating.
Yeah. She is having a grand old time.
And then underneath that scene is people getting fucking railed behind.
Like every position you can imagine is represented.
Yeah, and then he says, "You." Oh, by the way, Otter, go to the scene where he says, "You have the dude saying, 'Tis the goddess of flame.'" That's the priest, by the way, you saw earlier.
"'Tis the goddess of flame."
Sorry,
and then he's like,
"It's easy to miss that because it's a very small little panel while it's showing." The flaming figure.
There were
very, and then just a whole lot of fucking.
This is what's fun about me doing my reread. I can pick up on these details a whole lot more since I've read the whole thing. But you also have Luca. Luca's also seeing the figure in the flames, and she's not on the drugs, so she thinks it's an hallucination and it's drugs or some shit. And then how do I describe this scene? You see a bunch of other sex scenes, and I'm talking fully explicit.
Like
scenes.
it's very
explicit.
Very explicit.
You can see everything going into everything else. That's how I'll put it. Also, Nina is blowing a dude while Roachim is banging her, and then the
she
dude
goes for the not big old smooch at the end.
Hold up. He busts a nut in her, and we have the panel of the other dude's sauce dripping on her chest and down on her and her mouth. And then this is, by the way, the funniest. This is how we get artistic expression in this cum panel. He says,
"Can we leave this cave yet?
I'm falling," and he has like this weird. He's
I
like
want to go
melting
home
into a weird thing, and then there's another panel where she's full, and then she kisses him.
Yep.
And she's still got it on her face too.
Matter of fact, you can still see it dribbling on her face.
I feel like I can't say anything here.
Can I go home now?
So then she gets up and then takes Roachim to the goat dude, and she's like, "All right, you have to recite these words to defile God," and it's like squiggly lines. And then she's like, "Next, kiss his heart and his member," and his member is a snake.
It's a snake.
It's his penis drawn as a snake, and he's
No,
hallucinating.
it's just a snake, Billy. There's no connotation there.
No. This goat
especially the one where he
having
actually
his
kisses
penis
it. That's
drawn
not
as a snake.
nothing homoerotic about that.
And then she's like, "All right, here's the last part. Drink this, and you'll be one of us." And he does drink it, and then there's a finger in it, and he drops it, and then there's an ear, a nose, an eyeball. And he's like, "Oh, this isn't an illusion." Now, this is the one thing in the entire series that I actually think he went too far. Not that they're cannibals. I'm actually fine with them being cannibals. It makes sense. It's just specifically it didn't need to be baby children that they were eating in the soup. That was it.
Well, that's kind of what Satanists do, though.
Yeah.
Right, but it could have been people. It could have just been normal adult humans that they were cooking up.
No, because Mira's already pointed out that children are not off limits in this.
Right,
series.
but I'm still saying this is like the one moment where I'm like, it could have just been normal people. It didn't have to. It's going a little overboard on that.
Yeah, just a little. Just a little,
But-
to put it mildly.
The orgy wasn't overkill.
Yeah, Roachim has a
Yeah,
really,
no, that's
really,
a good point. I think I just differ on that. I think it really shows how evil these people are.
I'm
Yeah,
kind of
but
with
it
like
could've been- it
I'm
could've been
with
people.
Frederick.
I disagree.
No, because
Anyway.
the scene was already meant to be as dark as it gets, And I
Right, but
I
it didn't
don't I
need to
don't
be
think
kids.
that's
And it doesn't make sense. It makes more sense if it was like adult priests that they captured or whatever corpses they found.
And then they chased Mr. Beta Cuck off the cliff, and Nina breaks
Roachim
down.
has the best response, which is run away, and then Nina's like, "What?" And then she just says, "Kill that man. He means to betray us." And then Roachim fucking trips and falls off the goddamn cliff. He does not get pushed. He fucking trips.
First time I was reading, I'm like, did he jump on purpose? Then I saw his face. I'm like, no, he fell.
No, you can see the over panel where it says Clatta, or a rock was thrown at him. He
That
fucking
just makes you a beta cuck.
And then you have Nina doing like crazy odd smiling naked with the other cultists behind her.
You big liar.
Yeah, and she starts crying. And then Luca confronts her and is like, Nina. And then Nina
throws a freaking rock at her head.
Yeah, telling her not to come near her, throwing a rock, talking shit, saying that she'll call her friends and get her killed. And then Luca's had enough of this, so Luca just fucking bitch slaps Nina.
No, Nina deserves the eternal slumber.
Yeah, she got slapped once, got slapped twice, and then Luca just grabs her, bends her over, and starts spanking the shit out of her. And then she's crying like a little bitch, you know. And then she says she's sorry.
I didn't mean it.
Yeah, she says he's sorry, and then Nina just gives her, or not Nina, Luca gives her a little pat, and then says, "Girl, you worry me so." Basically saying you are a silly girl and that we need to just go home. Oh, and then they notice that the cultists are surrounding Casca because she followed them. And
then Casca's like, "What's going on, guys?"
Well, she can't speak. She goes, "Ooh."
This is her dialogue verbatim. Avu.
Yes. Avu. And they're like, "You want to convert?" And they're like, "What's with her face?" And the one dude's like, "Oh, I know who she is. She's Nina's friend, the bitch who has syphilis. She's retarded." And they're all like, "Well, I'm not gonna. I ain't. Hold up. Let me put this. Leave her be and let's go back. I ain't raping a girl with syphilis."
She won't rat on us if she's insane either. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so they leave, and then you have the one fucker who's like, "Hey, wait a minute. This could be interesting."
Remember this face. This is the guy who was calling to Luca earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's like, "Oh, that's a nice little pretty face there. What's the rest of her look like?"
Yeah, and then we get Casca's titties are out.
It's like at this point, it's like old friends.
Yeah, and then Casca has the Eclipse flashback in which it's very penisy, more penisy than it was in the actual.
Even more, yeah. What that one looks like a heart with penises on it. But.
Yeah, and then we get a full scene of Casca surrounded by penis apostles. There you go. There's another Eclipse throwback, and then she rightfully freaks out and screams, and then starts twitching. And Luca,
he's like, "What? He's like, what the hell's wrong with her?"
Yeah, and then Luca, being the badass she is gonna. She doesn't matter what happens. She's gonna try to save her. But before that happens, spirits show up and
they start possessing the dudes.
Oh my god! You can show the page where the spirit bites the dude's face.
I sure can.
By the way, you know what that drawing reminds me of? You know, The Mask, the comic.
Yeah,
it does look like that.
Like it really reminds me of those type of drawings with the spirit biting the dude's face off. But anyways, the heretic cannibals are now possessed and eating each other,
as is fitting.
Yeah, and they're fixing to get Casca, but her baby shows up and wards and
I love Luca's reaction to all of this. It's like these guys start getting possessed and just spontaneously start eating each other. Luca's reaction is, "Say what?"
Yeah.
And then Casca's Guts and Casca's baby comes up. He's like,
I'll protect you. Ooh.
Yeah, so the baby shows up and then it throws out the spirits, and then Costco tries to grab it, but he disappears. And then everyone's like,
verbatim,
she's a witch.
Oh,
and then they start praying to her, bowing to Costco because they think she's a witch. And then we end the chapter with Roachim being dragged out of the creek by them eyes, that apostle.
Dim eyes.
By the way, Christian, I want to ask you once again, what do those eyes look familiar? There is something in Berserk that's very synonymous, and the eyes resemble it really, really, really closely.
Almost like a roundish shape or something.
Yeah, almost like, you know what? I'm very hungry. I want to go eat an egg. Does anyone want an egg?
I'd like an egg.
I love eggs.
Holy crap, his drawing has gotten so much better since Volume
Are you
1.
saying it's the eyes of Behelit watching over?
They look like Behelit eyes, don't they? But it's a big giant apostle. Like, it's not the size of a Behelit. Really curious. Anyways.
Who's playing freaking Mexican music?
So anyways, Roachim is not dead. And he's being left out on the beach to be found by the, let's be honest, the religious order that's going to be looking for the screaming sound that they heard. And currently the heretics are have Casca, and they think she's a witch, and they're praying to her. So we cut back to Guts, in which Isidro finally caught up to Guts, in which we have one of the most used panels of Guts laying on the tree stump with the sword. That one's used a lot, isn't it, Otter? For thumbnails and photos, and people do it.
Perhaps a little too much. I see it everywhere.
Yep, but it's a really good one, so no complaining. But Isidro's basically been like, I've been chasing after him, and I managed to get on a wagon with refugees. That's the only way I was keep up. And then he sneaks up and tries to steal the Dragon Slayer,
Which
and
is
he
just
can't pick it
hilarious.
up. And then
he
you
gets
have,
stuck.
you have Puck being like, you got to put your back into it. Use your lower body, see? Like this. Then put everything into the first swing, letting loose with a shout. This is the dark blade of obliteration. I'm Puck, 7th degree in elf dimension style. He says, when you request a person's name, it's good to give your own first. And the Isidro's like, I didn't even ask yours. But he's Isidro's about to pick it up, and Puck just jumps on it.
I like how he just follows up saying, hey, Guts, I caught Sneaky-Dro.
Yeah, and then Guts actually has respect for this kid, because the kid's like, I'm dead, and he just looks down and picks it up. And he's like, yeah, it's not a kid.
Is it Lord Dahl from the very freaking beginning?
The who?
The eyes.
No. Okay, what do the eyes resemble? Go to the Behelit.
Just imagine blood going down those eyes, you know?
I'm just trying to give you an idea of what that apostle might look like for y'all. But I love how Guts is basically like Puck is like, you want to be his apprentice and everything, and then you have to go through Puck to be his since he's his manager. And then Isidro's like, no, I don't want to be under anyone. And Guts actually has respect for that. Like, he notices and he smiles.
And he's like, well, anyway, you're a slowpoke. I got to run.
Yeah, and he's like, I love how Puck is like, you missed that food you gave to me, and you've come back. You've come to take it back. Oh, for shame. Forget about it. I ate it all up. It's gone.
You're not getting it back. Actually, Guts needs to eat some more.
Yeah, Guts is like, you got a sword. Do you want to be a fighter? Have you ever cut anyone down? And Isidro lies.
One or two.
Says, yeah. He's never cut anyone down.
Yeah.
And he's basically like, yeah, don't hang around me. I don't care for an apprentice. See you later.
And then one of our favorite drawn characters appears.
Is who?
Skull Knight.
Oh well, it's not even that. It's we get one of the more often used panels is the wheel demons.
Yep, and if you
Oh,
ever
I thought
played
we were
Dark
already through that.
Souls, you've ever played Dark Souls, you fought this enemy before. Dark Souls, basically almost all FromSoft games heavily take from Berserk. But Guts basically says that they're here and everything, and the wheels show up, and he's like, "Oh, this is new. He hadn't seen this before." And the spirits are just saying, "Son of a bitch, damn it, god damn it, damn you."
Well, it's I've said this in other review streams for Berserk, but I love how the demons always take different forms each time they come along. This is one of my favorite forms.
These aren't the demons; these are just spirits.
Well, the spirits, I mean, because they'll possess anything and anyone that they can pretty much get their hands on.
Yes, to get their goo in. They love filling people with their goo.
Yes.
Anyways, the
why is Sodom and Gomorrah trending on Twitter? Sorry,
I have no clue. The wheels try to kill Isidro. They're like, "Guess we should kill you too."
Isidro takes his stance, goes for the kill.
I love how Guts is just like, "Yeah, they're
Pride
this
Month,
is really
that's why.
weird." Like, he's noticing that these guys are really hateful. Like the spirits are exceptionally hateful, and he's like, "This has been weird." But he's like, "I don't really give a shit. This gives me I can still let my rage out and kill them." And we get really fucking good double page spreads of him fighting these things and running.
Is that the one where we see the double page spreads one after the other? That one's pretty freaking.
No, we just passed that one.
Okay, that one blew me away.
Matter of fact, there's probably a couple that are double page. The other one was the Kushans, where we showed you it was the one page where he was winding up, and then where he hit them.
Two double pages.
The second one was the aftermath.
Yeah.
Boom.
But Guts is slicing through this. We have a funny part where Isidro finally pulls out his swords and hits it, and his sword breaks, and then you have Puck and him.
Oh yeah, and then Guts just yeets him. Like
Guts destroys the thing, just picks up Isidro and just throws him down the hill.
And I love how Isidro rolls down the hill. He just holds up his arms, straightens his legs, and just like twirls all the way down.
Yeah, we end up with the next of these final two chapters where Guts is just continuing to walk and being like, they're either gone or killed them all or they're stopped following. And then Skull Knight shows up, in which his first dialogue. Here, speak his first dialogue, Christian.
Hold on, let me go back. Where'd he go? Running. Then he appears. An earthly air bade me stop. And what do I find? You seem in good health, struggler.
I also love how Puck is like, "You know each other? I didn't think you had many human friends, but of all things, a monster?"
Something about him.
And then he's like, that's not to say I discriminate against monsters. He may not look it, but he's pretty lonely. Please be nice to him. By the way, I'm Puck."
And Skull Knight does not give a single fuck.
Guts is like, "You shut up. You shut up a minute." And then Skull Knight's like an elf. Well, that's interesting. And then Puck is like, something's with Skull Knight, I don't know what it is. It kind of seems elfish,
Yep.
But basically, we get Skull Knight basically telling them that because Guts asked him like why he's in the place, and he's like, "Yeah, there's an apostle here, and we're heading to the same place." And also, well, we're getting to the mock eclipse.
Yep.
Imitation eclipse. And, you can't change it. You're not going to be able to stop it, you know.
That someone who signifies the hawk is going to appear in this world.
Yep, because every 1,000 years, it is allowed, a God Hand member is allowed to walk the earth. God Hand members cannot, so they can, I mean, they can influence and sort of show up in the real world, but they can't directly physically show up in the real world.
Yeah, because they're too broken.
Yeah, where they're OP as fuck. So Griffith
and then it's
is
and
then
then you got Puck. He's like,
What?
then Griffith, Hawk,
The Hawk.
Yeah, he's asking where is she, and he's like, anyways, Skull Knight basically tells him it's an mock eclipse, and oh, by the way, go to the page after he says to imitate the eclipse. That's the one I'm talking about with Puck, the panel with his ass.
Oh yeah.
That one's like
very sus.
That one's really sus.
Even more sus than a regular Puck drawing, yeah.
But he's feeling Guts' emotions and shit, and then Guts is, kind of being like, oh, it's gonna happen again, and then Puck is like he's feeling ecstasy. Guts. Now he's feeling. I always take that as because he knows that Griffith is going to be in the real world, and he's getting really giddy about the idea of being able to attack him again. But he, Skull Knight tells him you can't change it. Causality is a permanent thing.
He's being a real black pill right now.
Yeah, and then Guts is like, yeah, fuck that. Fuck that.
Fuck Guts is like, and then Guts is like, I swing big sword, kill big enemy. No.
Oh, this is what he says. Who cares about shadows? Causality. I decided on the Tower of Conviction and go there on my own feet. Nobody ordered me to. Besides, you're forgetting I'm really bad at giving in. You gave me that name, the name Struggler. And he's like, that whole causality bit's pretty shady anyways. And he refers to when Zod told him that he would find a death that he would never escape. We'll pay him a visit. And he's like, yeah, you helped us, but me and Casca survived the eclipse, so clearly causality's a little bit bullshit.
Yeah, something like we escaped. We were never meant to escape.
Yeah, I love how he said, I'll save her by my own strength, and then he wants to kill Griffith.
Well, it's like, Skull Knight even points it out himself. It's like the moment they each become sacrifices, it's like they're actually at least halfway removed from the current of causality.
Yeah, they're half spirit, half mortal, kind of.
Yeah, so he puts it like this. Though minute, singular details can certainly occur at a temporal nexus that even they can't predict. I in turn gamble everything on said occurrences, and even if it imitates the eclipse, it doesn't mean it'll be exactly the same. The scope too has natural limits in the material domain. Furthermore, the brand carved into you, it may be of unanticipated aid. As I told you before, due to the brand, you now live in the interstice, that is, the border between the physical and astral worlds. It is merely half step, but you are outside the reason of the world.
That's why he's able to kill the spirits when they appear too.
Yeah, he says, maybe you aren't a shadow on the water, but instead a fish that breaches the water surface. And basically he tells him, I'll see you later. That's what's going on. He just pieces out.
And then Puck is like, why didn't we hitch a ride, man?
Oh, I love this. He's like, Mr. Skull, huh? I don't really get it, but nifty. You should have bummed a ride off of him. And Guts is like, oog. And then Puck is like, and he's like, yeah. Never mind. He's like, maybe I imagined that, but that guy, he kind of felt like an elf.
Well, surely that's not a critical piece of information. Or
anything until way later on. You get little details.
And then we have the burning people at the stake scene, which is half flashback to Fernice getting off as a child, and then
here's Well, we end this chapter with Guts saying, "I'll save Casca. That's my top priority. That's why I'm here. But if he stands before me, then I'll." That's his main conflict going forward, is whether Casca protecting her, keeping his promise that he's going to change, he's going to save her, he's going to be there for her, or going after Griffith. And then we cut to the last chapter in this, which is Farnice as a little tiny kid. By the way, the kid drawn version of her, he did really well keeping it, making it still consistent with the actual Farnice we know. But she's basically talking about outside her house. There was pet stakes, her mansion. And then it cuts to her setting people on fire at the conviction tower, in which she's really happy.
She feels things.
Yeah, and then basically Jerome is like talking a little like Jerome's like, the winch sure doesn't seem to have trouble lighting people on fire. And the one dude's like, hey, didn't you know 3 years ago, or since she was a child, the commander was been voluntarily throwing torches at stake. And he says I heard the reason the search for the Black Swordsman was approved. Was her what the fuck is that word?
Speak.
I heard the reason the search for the Black Swordsman was approved was her meritorious service 3 years ago in the Holy See, when she caught a group of rebellious heretics and sentenced them to burn at the stake.
Yeah, that one word I couldn't say. I don't know.
It was worded a little strangely.
Yeah, and then the Jerome was like, fucking Jesus Christ. Like,
talk about hardcore.
This bitch is crazy.
Yeah, she's really getting into her recollections, so to say.
Yeah, and she's really thinking on Father Mozg's words and how she will not waver. And then you have a little boy, you have an old dude going up to him and being like, your daddy's a heretic. Well, you should throw this torch, boy. Unless you're the same as him, we'll burn you, bitch. Then Serpico showing he's an actual good dude as he draws the sword on the fucker. Tells him,
because the guy's an asshole.
Yeah, he's like, the child bears no guilt. It was proven at his father's trial. Then Serpico, he'd asked to leave. Yeah, he can't. He's really tired. And Barney says, "Yeah." Then him and Jerome talk, and he basically explains his backstory that 3 years ago, his mother was condemned as a heretic and burned at the stake. And at the last minute, Jerome's like, wait, 3 years ago? That's when Farnice burned a bunch of heretics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
it'd be a shame if that came up again sometime down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by some time down the line, I mean a couple pages down the line.
No. It's no. It's actually next deluxe volume or deluxe volume 8 is when we get to actually see that scene. We cut to Farnice in her bed with their tits out.
Really enjoying herself.
Thank God, Farnice. Keep the tits out. Anyways.
And a bit more.
Had a bad day. Feeling a bit down. Here's some Farnice tits. That'll help
then
you
it
come
cuts
around.
back to her as a child and stuff. Flashback. In which she's basically scared of outside the fire and the roars and stuff and the flames. And she finally went outside. And she said, I learned a secret hidden in the night. When you peel back the thin skin known as the world, there's terror surging beneath. And then you get this one person who's basically telling her to throw the torch, and she does. And she finds out that the shadows dance. And that's really
she
fun.
throws a lot of torches.
Yeah, she's like, a strange thing. She's like, I was frightened and threw it right away. And then a strange thing happened. The shadows corresponding to the torch thrown swayed about all at once.
Otter, that
one
meme
more.
you posted is hilarious.
Yeah, one more. I get it. When I throw in one of these, the shadows dance before it. I cast them in so many times that night. Each time the shadows swayed as if dancing, as if trembling. I learned
Let me imitate her during this scene too.
Hold on. Yeah, she's like, I learned that when you peel back the thin skin known as the world terror, there's terror surging beneath, and I learned how to escape that terror. You just lead them, become one of them, and dance. And then
I do like the parallel here. It kind of parallels the whole heretic orgy scene in a way. It's just from like a completely different, like opposite end, but it's still similar.
Also, you have all these adults being like a blessing, the Lord's blessings upon this girl. Well done, little miss.
She is one devoted little Christian.
By the way, then it goes, it must have been the heat of the flames. I could feel a strange warmth in my underbelly. Now, we all know what that is going, because the next page is literally her grabbing her kids, fingering herself, and thinking of burning people that night, and then getting off.
Anna.
And then the last page is her curled. You can actually show that one because there is no nudity.
No. It's too close. I'm too tired.
Oh my God, you're such a pussy. Anyway, she says, I'm not in the wrong while she's crying after she just blasted herself out.
That's some tough post-nut clarity there.
Yeah. And that's where we end Deluxe Volume 6.
With
post-nut clarity.
What a ride.
I think we actually might have footage of her during that scene too. It was.
Now,
so
just imagine
let's
that with
thoughts
tits.
so far on the main meat and potatoes of Conviction.
Can we not say meat and potatoes and Conviction?
Fine, main fish tacos.
Well, it felt to me that the focus was less on Guts himself and more on the secondary characters for the development. Like there was a lot of,
especially the latter after Lost Children, especially. Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be like that. Albeit you will see Guts very heavily in the next part. You will see the series start not just being focusing on Guts, is also building up other side main characters as well. And
Guts
fleshing
was
them out
in Berserk mode for a lot of this tome. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Right. Also, this is the most brutal the series will ever get. After this is when I won't say he kind of, I don't know, not really
He slowly eases off.
Yeah, it's not it ever gets as violent and as brutal as this arc.
This arc's pretty brutal. Yeah, pretty.
By the way, how
solid.
did y'all like the orgy scene?
It was shorter
like
than I
the
expected.
right-
Couldn't wait for it to effing end.
Well, I now know where those lips have been.
I'm only like half mast, man. I need more than that.
Yeah, I had to warn them because I'm like, all right, now when you get to the scene, guys,
It's really it's a lot. It's a lot.
to the point where I don't know how he was able to publish it.
I'm like, this isn't like vague outlines anymore. This is
Yeah, because that's how it was before. It kind of had like that soft censorship shit in it. And I was like,
It's
yeah,
like-
it makes sense.
So why did he get a
it
pass?
slowly shows a bit more detail as the story goes on.
Why
and
did
then
he
it's
get
just
a
like,
pass?
ha
You know what? To be honest, it might have just been the series was big at that time as well.
He's like,
too big to fail, bitch.
Like
Yeah, it
we're
was-
talking post eclipse. So
It
the
was
series
so
was
making
really
too
big.
much money they didn't want to censor him.
Post eclipse clarity.
Yeah, the post eclipse clarity.
Eclipse.
Clarity.
You know, you want to go to bed with Luca, but you somehow end up married to Nina. That's Christian.
Oh
story.
no!
Oh God.
Hey, does Nina remind you of anyone in your life, Christian?
Bro, there's so much I can't say.
We're still live, guys.
How do I say? It brings back some uncomfortable memories. We'll say that.
Also, Christian, you did post a video earlier after you got done reading this.
Oh, about what's her face?
Casca.
About Casca.
Thou
Oh,
shalt
yeah.
not sacrifice Casca.
Yep, that's basically my thing. I'm like, this story is so dark. if Guts fails to save Casca, I might be done. I might be done.
Well, you will see. You will see. Ooh, boy. Anyways, back to Pup Darkness.
Oh man, teasing the storyline.
Well, listen. Next deluxe volume is your conclusion to Conviction.
Yeah, volume 7.
Oh,
And you can already see
Shit's gonna hit the fan.
Yeah, you already see where it's all being set up and where it's going.
That's nasty. Can we just have Nina shuffle off this mortal coil at some point too?
She might. You never know until you read the next book.
There are some cliffs over there.
A woman being alive in Berserk.
We can't have that.
I don't know. Whenever you get a lady like Nina, things might change. Maybe.
No, guys. She has good in her. I promise.
Well, all I'm gonna say is Roachim isn't dead.
I can save her, Mom.
I can fix her. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Famous last words.
That's like trying to fix the Titanic when it's already underwater.
Right.
So, what did y'all think when y'all read the mock eclipse is coming?
Oh, horrifying flashbacks. Kind of exactly what Guts had going on.
Now, keep in mind, it's an eclipse that's taking place in the real world, not in the astral world.
And so, but that's the thing, though. I'm like, Griffith is actually gonna, Fento is gonna be there. So, but the thing is, can he actually be hurt?
You'll find out.
It's gonna piss me off. I know.
Keep in mind, the Godhand member can warp reality.
Yeah. That's a mean thing to say, by the way.
What?
Oh, that he can warp. Like, now it's making my brain think of all the ways he can warp reality.
Listen, I'm just glad we got to this point. I mean, it's pretty obvious that he's going to come back, so it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, not really.
Skull Knight literally said,
it's like everybody's having dreams about the Hawk of Darkness. Gee whiz. I wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah, a white hawk coming to save him, and you literally see Griffith with in the
Charlotte
King's dream. I'm not, like I said, it's gonna be fun, y'all seeing how it all goes down.
Well, guys, it's been fun. It's been well over 3 hours at this point.
3 hour tour.
Any final thoughts? We'll start with Frederick. Frederick, final thoughts on Deluxe Volume 6 of Berserk.
Yeah, it's the story picks up like from the previous, like after the eclipse, I felt kind of a down low beat with the Jill storyline and the Moth Girl.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's picking up now. You got a lot of B storylines that are coming in and meeting with the main characters. And
I think plus we had that minute of light for Guts. I think the story really needed that break.
Mm-hmm. So really enjoy it. The art is beautiful. It's getting better. The faces look better and better. Sometimes he still has like big noses on some profiles that look kind of odd, but I guess that's manga style. And I still don't like the chibi art with Puck and stuff. That gets a little bit annoying, but it's fucking good. Like the story's incredible, pulls you right in, and Guts is fucking amazing.
Also, the art is so good. I was looking over Deluxe Volume 1 just a minute ago looking for a connection, and the art is so much better in this volume than in the first one. Like, it's disgusting how much better it is.
Yes. Here's the thing. We have, I think it's Deluxe Volume 8 arters when he gets into his final style.
Yeah, it's right around there where you get some of the most iconic panels that it's pretty well shown each time people talk about the best artwork in Berserk. It's right around the end of Conviction.
I showed Frederick some of the pages, the non-spoiler ones, of like the castle drawing you saw before.
Yeah, I also think of the ones where it's showing like the woods. It's like Zod flying overhead.
You will see Zod again, the second strongest apostle in the world.
I do. Every time Zod shows up, I'm like, I'm here for it.
Matter of fact, compare Zod in Deluxe Volume 2 and then compare the drawing you got right now in 6 when you later on.
Oh yeah, yeah. Also, so Billy Bob, like you've read more of the story, obviously. How does Volume 6 line up in your pantheon of deluxe volumes?
I think it's on the upper end. I wouldn't say it's the best one.
I wouldn't either. It's really, really good. I think it had some really incredible moments. It's maybe one of the darker, definitely one of the darker volumes I've read so far.
Right.
In my opinion, I'd probably put Deluxe Volume 7 and 8 probably pretty high, maybe about as high as you can go.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think 9, 11 are really fucking good. 10 is a bit slow.
All right, Mr. Readout Stonewall Mozgus.
I have nothing more to say. Berserk is great, although it feels very awkward to say it's great whenever you have things like, well, you know, what happened at Hell Cave there.
Read out, I warned you. I told you it was going to be a fucking explicit chapter.
He's like halfway through. He's like, "Oh, I'm done. All right, I'll come back to it later." And then earlier in the volume, Lord Otter's like, "I'm going to read that section again."
Yeah, but I'm going to make sure I cut out the women.
I said no.
But he's going to make sure he cuts out all the women parts.
Oh, God.
He's like, can we get less nude female, more horse cock?
Oh, no.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
So anyways, going into Otter, your thoughts on Deluxe Volume 6?
Not enough horse cock. Almost had enough.
Wait, is Lord Otter actually the Lord Vosh?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God.
Anyways,
we should have just changed the thumbnail to this video. Over Rape Horse's face, it's just a picture of Vosh.
Yeah, his favorite part of the story.
Yeah, I still really like this deluxe volume overall. It feels a little awkward, kind of like starting off the deluxe volume, because you are basically ending
like
the fight
halfway through a scene, really.
Yeah, you're halfway through a scene. You're basically ending the fight between Guts and Rosine. So it's like it feels a little strange in that sense, but it's like, especially once it kind of gets into the break chapter or two between like Guts, Erica, Godo. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like the story takes a much needed break, and then it just goes strong from there. Gets into one of the better story arcs. Orgy scene excluded. I really enjoy pretty much everything that's there.
Now I'm with Frederick a little bit on that. Like, if you're trying to depict like a satanic, really truly satanic scene, like is what they're doing.
Yeah, it is. It's about as satanic as Berserk gets.
Yeah, you got the goat head and everything. It's literally that with Baphomet. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're heretics.
But the problem is, like, they're all like that's the thing too. I don't know. Yeah, it's like, oh look, say religion's bad, but also anti-religion's bad. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you'll see throughout the conviction. To be fair, with Guts, it makes sense for him to be anti-God and all this shit. It does. It is even consistent with the beginning of the series, you know. It does try to push a little bit of that message, but I will say towards the end of this arc, Mira kind of went, yeah, it's stupid, and then slaps it away. Like the anti-religion message a little bit.
Yeah, Guts has his edgy atheist phase, and then it just kind of buggers off. And it doesn't really come back.
Well, Otters, there's a specific dialogue at the end of Conviction where someone says like pushing that message, and then another character responds with something being like, "Yeah, no, that's stupid." Watch that.
But yeah, no, that was Deluxe Volume 6. I'm a little pissed I made the whole video about it earlier because it was genuine, and now I still don't have my answer. But find out next time
on Dragon Ball Z.
Anyway, boys, thank you for joining me for almost 3.5 freaking hours. It was a joy having everybody on here. Stormcrow, sorry you weren't able to hang for very long. And hey, guys, have a good night. God bless after that.
Fuck Nina. Figuratively, not literally.
Yep.
Boy, so
definitely
much
figuratively.
torture scenes for y'all in the next deluxe volume. So much of it. You think you got away from it? No.
Yeah.
You'll see more of it.
Stay tuned for Volume 7 next time.
Next time.
Excellent.
I am